Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like, fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side damage shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built full of smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound. And I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride, 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man. Shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride, 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you holler and cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out nigga like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride, 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
Interior bar. Friends enjoying Campari Spritz. Cut. A sudden distraction. 2 women. A connection. A new story is about to begin. Campari Spritz. A Milanese story.
Oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2.
Break it down, break it down.
Oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2.
Break it down, break it down.
Oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2.
I was born in the boogie down cat scan, when my builder fell down on the rat scan. People sold a super on a trip to the P now. While I settle off the shores of the Long Island. My father's clean, I mean my mind is clear when I transmit. I am the man of the family cause the pants fit. I want to let forensics prove that I can mince groove with the thread from leader water hate. Wanna say salutation to the nation of the Nubian. We're about to place it in that 3 feet of stew again. I got the frequency to shatter Mr. Jones' perm. I got a hail of other honeys cause it's short-term valley and a storm for the shotty in the jacket. For the brother, he's a nigga when he packs it. So get your butt out the sling. I start Muhammad.
Has it on the sayer, weigh the 18 mil, even still, sack of back troubles, make a single double, loop the coin and join the minimum wage. I had a plan if I was the man, I protege, lay it low and leg mad cassettes. I uncondition my ways of the everyday sunset, waging my days to the one bet, cause your breaks, I have the capital case, weather mine, out of line, I beat to the early morning, freak the wick call, I get a tap on my shoulder, cause the days of the breaks, you're just about over, the arts of the six won't play my bag of chips, I got the sevens in my pocket somewhere. Reasons for the cheer or temperature here. I keep it to the rear and then I'm exploding.
I be the fabulous.
Hey. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to let one of the tenants in, man, to go get the master keys. Let one of these tenants in because he had lost his key. All right. Good afternoon, y'all. We ain't gonna be here long, man. We just gonna talk about this. The busters that's out here, man, how to not be a buster. And then we're gonna talk about if we can get it in the city of Dalton. But I don't want to be here more than like an hour and a half. We'll try and see if we can do it, man. Because I hold you guys too long with the 5-hour ones and all that. All right, let's first of all let's thank Brother Eric, man. Shout out to Brother Eric. Brother Eric letting use that music, man. Go over to check him out, better known as 16 to Life. Go check him out, man. Go see what's happening with him. Good dude, man. Go check out his page. A lot of good, funny information, good information, a lot of funny stuff, man. All right, that's Brother Eric. Let us, before we go further, man, let's check everybody in, man, so we can have everybody checked in, man. First up on the docket is Risa Neal. Shout out to Risa Neal. That's our resident sniper. So if you coming in here to play some games, man, don't play no games, man. Just let Risa just relax, right? Because Risa's our resident sniper, man. You're going to be like, Clarence, one of your mods got rid of me. One of your mods poofed me out. And I'm going to act like I don't know. And he's going to act like she don't know. Vaughn, Patrice, Rico, we all going to act like we don't know. We know exactly who put you out, right? So, Risa is one of those type of people, poof first, ask questions later, right? But I told her she ain't like that by herself. I told her, I said, man, I'm behind you. If you take somebody out, even if it was a mistake, I'm behind you. So you just let them. I said, just let them call them. Let them come to me crying. But if you feel like you got to make a move, make a move. You know what I mean? But shout out to Risa, man. Glad to have you in the building. Risa's a good sister, man. She just, she's not going to sit here and let somebody people get disrespected. You know what I'm saying? So, and we try to have a kind of a environment here where people can ask us questions. We can disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. We can just ask questions and try to learn from each other. Hey, sometimes somebody will turn you, right? That's why the title of the video has changed, because Rico sold me on a couple of different things, right? He convinced, because he first brought it up and said, "Nah, Rico, I don't want to do that." But he kind of he kind of contexted it a little bit and kind of showed me that, cause see me, y'all know me, man. I want to teach. I want to, if I want to talk about a subject, I want to have at the end, I want to have a solution. And so he kind of sold me on that. So shout out to Rico, but shout out to Risa Neal. Hey, Risa Neal is the person that's gonna pull you out of here, no questions asked. So don't do that. All we ask is everybody just be respectful of everybody else, and you don't have to be bothered with Risa. You know what I'm saying? She can just enjoy the show like the rest of us, man. But if you up to no good, man, you're gonna meet Risa real soon, right? and I don't mean the nice lady. You're gonna meet the businesswoman right here, right? Chop, right? Off with your head. All right, shout out to Risa, man. Good to have you in the building, sis. Who else in the building? OG Patrice in the building. OG Patrice is in the building. Where you at, crazy girl? Where you been, crazy girl? That's my sister, man. I love her. Patrice is in the building. I love Risa too. So, man, I love all these people, man. But Patrice is in the building, man. Shout out, man. So yeah, some of y'all saying, man, I love Patrice's takes. How come y'all don't let Patrice come up? Patrice can come up anytime she wants to, so don't blame Clarence. But the thing is, Patrice got a lot of stuff going on. Now, some of us know Patrice a little deeper, and Patrice got a lot of stuff going on. So if you don't see her that much online, it's because she's honoring some of her what do you call that? She's honoring some of her responsibilities, man. She got a lot of responsibilities trying to honor. So shout out to Patrice. Glad to have you in the building, sis. Who else is in the building? Von Bryant is in the building. Shout out to Von Bryant. Greetings, peace, joy, grace, and abundance. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. That's another guy, good dude, man, Vaughn. But man, see, if I start talking about everybody, man, I'm gonna be out here all day. I could just write a book on everybody, right? So, but I gotta keep moving. Who else in the building? Pagoda, another good dude, man. He learning. You know what I'm saying? He ain't come up in America because so you judging him by American standards, right? You saying, Pagoda, you should know this already. How's Pagoda gonna know, man? He grew up in Israel. He grew up in Israel. He lives in Israel, right? So he's still learning, man. He's still learning, but he's a good dude, man. Hopefully he's all right, man. That conflict will eventually be over with. Hopefully. Shout out to Pagoda. Who else in the building, man? Sister Annie, excuse me. Oh, Sister Annie say, man, you talking about them kids, Clarence? Or you talking about the Lord? I'm gonna come and see you. Okay, Sister Annie. All right, that's my Taurus sister, right? Y'all, I don't mess with them Tauruses. She said, if you talk about them kids, you talking about the Lord, I'm coming to see you. Okay. We might hit the Lord. Yeah, we might hit the Lord. Rico said, hey, Clarence, I can't hang with all y'all. When y'all start thumping like that, I can't. I don't have nothing to say. I said, well, you gotta start thumping with us, Rico. Maybe we'll drive Rico into the Bible one day, right? Or that Rico used the Bible to make sure one of his tables don't fall over, right? I use my Bible. I bet you do, Rico. Who else is in the building, man? Shout out to Sister Eddie, man. Glad to have you in the building. That's another behind the scenes person, man, that makes things run right around here. Who else in the building? Let's see. Jeff Short, another good brother, man. Another good brother. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Short. Well, Clarence, you saying all these people good people because they just agree with you all the time. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's what I like. I like that they have a different perspective and we can kind of find our way through it, man. Jeff don't always agree with me. He agree most of the time, but not all the time. Same thing with Annie, same thing with Risa. They don't always agree with me, right? But they're good people, man. They're good people because I can see their heart. You know what I mean? We may disagree on something, but I can see their heart. Same thing with this brother, man, Brother Anderson. Glad to have you in the building, brother. He said we back again. Everybody's having a great Sunday. Yeah, man. But that's my Taurus brother, Brother Anderson, man. Shout out to Brother Anderson, man. Another good brother, man, that comes over here, man, and hangs out with us for a little while. Shout out to Brother Anderson, man. Brother Anderson came on the stage one time, right? We were getting money for the backpacks, right? Oh, shoot. Daryl Long, the simp god, right? Is back in the building, man. Shout out to you, Daryl. Be careful out there, man. Be careful out there, brother. And, I've always told you, right? Since we met, since we start talking, key is at the back door, brother. All you got to do is just pick it up. And, if you need some advice or, assistance on something, Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. Shout out to Sheila. Well, first of all, shout out to Brother Anderson. Thanks for stopping by. Brother Daryl, thanks for stopping by. Sheila, I know, Claire, you ain't supposed to talk to Daryl because he did so much wrong. I know, I've been hearing that for 3-4 years. I got it. But I still did it anyway, right? me and Rico Patrice, we still do it anyway, right? Hey, man, they used to kick. Man, they used to. Man, that's how me, Patrice, and Rico met, man. We were just they were just stomping on us for talking to Daryl, right? You can't talk to him no more. Oh, I can't? Nah. Okay, we just do it anyway. Shout out to Brother Anderson as well, man. Good to have you in the building, my brother. Sheila Ingram Ministries. Shout out to Sheila, man. Good to have you. It's another good sister, man, right there, man. Another good sister. Go over there and check her channel out, man. Sheila Ingram Ministries Network, man. Shout out to that sister, man. Go check her out. Are you gonna like it? I don't know, man. I think that she has a great channel, but you may not. I mean, but all I'm saying is give everybody a try, y'all. You can't just get stuck on, we're not gonna listen to our own. We got to give our own people a chance, man. And sometimes the smaller ones, right? Who else in the building? Oh man, the Intellectual Soapbox. Shout out to 84, man. 84, me and 84 and Vaughn and a couple other people, man. We did a good show on religion, man. It was good. It wasn't no thumper show, right? It was a really good show, man. We did a really good show. And everybody was on good behavior, man. It was a real nice atmosphere. Thank you for that, Intellectual Soapbox. Appreciate you. If you haven't already subscribed to Intellectual Soapbox, get on over there, man. Check him out, man. Check the brother out, man. We got to support our smaller content creators, not so much the big, because, when we're going to talk about in a little while, man, some of these big content creators, man, they busters, man. They busters. And they try to teach you how. I got a course on teaching you how you could be a buster too, right? But it may not work for you like it worked for them, right? But shout out to the Intellectual Soapbox, man. Go over and check the brother out. Good dude. Another good dude. Daryl Long, another good dude, man. Claire, how could you say that? He said this and he said that. He said that. Hey, brother's always been real respectful to me, Rico, Trees, where other people that told us not to have no dealings with him wasn't as respectful. So as long as, he be respectful to me, I don't always agree with what Daryl does. He knows that. But I always tell him, hey, if you want to talk about it and see, I always advise him not to do certain things, right? But I still love the brother. I'm not going to just throw the brother away because he got his own mind made up. He's a grown man, right? But shout out to the same thing, Daryl. Glad to hear from you, man. Make sure you're okay. Glad you're okay. Who else is in the building? Who else is in the building? I think that's everybody. Shout out to Sheila, man. Bravo with Sheila Network. Go check out Bravo with Sheila Network too. That's a good channel too, man. Just go check everybody out, man. Give them a shot. Give them a shot. Okay, who else in the building? I think that's everybody wants to be checked in. I think that everybody wants to be checked in. Okay, so let's talk about this busterism. Sorry about that, Mr. Sorry about that, 84. I gotta dig into the busterism, right? Now, any of y'all been watching YouTube for the past couple of weeks, you know that there's been we had one of the biggest YouTubers in the quote unquote black sector you know, his whole his situation has broken down, right? But see, like I said, man, like I've told people before, don't never attach your train to a buster. Even though they train is moving at supersonic speed, eventually it's gonna hit the wall, man. It's eventually gonna hit the wall. And if you try to hook up with buses, you're gonna get busted just like them, man. Eventually, they busterism gonna come out, man, because busters, they just can't, they operate like busters. So when they operate like busters, man, they're gonna be they never gonna, people can't attach themselves to that kind of, that kind of operating is like Negroes, like niggas, niggas, they they say yeah, I'm down with you and I'm down with this, but they don't have no loyalty to nobody. Man, niggas don't have no loyalty to nobody except the dollar. You know what I'm saying? What you can do for them, that's when they loyal. When you can't do nothing for them and you need their help, adios amigo, right? So we saw that this week, man. One of these big YouTubers had an unfortunate falling out with another big YouTuber that he used to pay to come on his channel, right? I mean, it's all buster stuff, man. You know what I mean? One buster brings another buster on, and they think they're gonna be joined at the hip because they busters, right? I'm a buster, you a buster. Okay, we can ride together because we busters. You can't connect yourself to no busters, man. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Explain that, Clarence. It's just like out here, man, out here in LA. Now I'm out here in LA. Some of y'all probably got the same thing going on. Daryl probably got it going on in Detroit. Intellect Soap, I probably got it going on in New York. Same thing, same scenario, where some dude act like he's, major crippin', right? he major crippin' or major, b-dogging, right? And then you'll see him on the video, man, with an ox pull up on him, and you're like, huh? Oh, I don't gangbang, right? And they say, oh, okay, we got your Facebook though, and your Facebook, you was like, F the C dogs, F the B dogs, right? then they commence with the beat down, right? I mean, one dude got his car stolen. He got his car taken from him, man, out somewhere trying to, fake cripping, right? A fake B-dog and whatever, whichever one he was doing. And see, the thing is, you can't play that game because you're gonna get ran up on, man. Sooner or later, somebody gonna pull your card. Shout out to Cam, they're gonna pull your whole card. And excuse me, but that's what they're gonna pull your card. And then when they pull your card, you be sitting there looking stupid, like, well, the same thing happens on the internet, happens on YouTube and all these other. What happens is a person, like for example, the person that I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say no names because it's not even worth saying names. The person that was he was the big dog. He's a big dog, right? And so he's able to pay these people to come on his little channel, right? It's his channel and talk. And it's just like one buster talking to another buster. It's like buster conversations, right? They talking to each other. Yeah, this is how I faked it till I made it. Or this is how I faked it till I made it. And so the Bible calls people like that. The Bible don't say busters. The Bible calls them hypocrites, right? They're hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? And it says, stay away from the hypocrites. Why you got to stay away from the hypocrite? Why? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we could turn hypocrite overnight. I'm going to say that again. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we could turn hypocrite overnight. He said overnight. Overnight. I don't care how long you've been pushing the line, right? Jesus, 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 Muhammad, 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 you know, whatever, whatever, right? You're pushing the line. Moses, Moses, Moses. He said, but hypocrisy is contagious, basically. It's a contagious. That's why you can't be around it, because sooner or later, the hypocrite will get you to be a hypocrite. Remember the story of Adam and Eve, right? Adam was like, I'm here to serve God, right? The woman was like, all right, whatever. And he was like, we here to serve God. We here to serve, do what he asked us to do, right? Woman was like, oh, all right, whatever, you know, whatever. But deep in her heart, she was open to the hypocrisy. She was open. So the devil could never get up next to Adam. Wasn't open. Adam wasn't no hypocrite. He didn't have no opening in his heart for no hypocrisy. So the snake, quote unquote, couldn't get to Adam. Wasn't no point in trying to get to him. But the woman, he got up next to her and start hollering at her, and he said, I said he said she opened to going for it. Let me just press on. She was the hypocrite. She was the hypocrite. Eve is the original hypocrite, right? Because she was supposed to be following the man Adam and doing what he is telling about, right? You got it right, Brother Anderson. You got it right. Anyway, she was supposed to be following Adam, right? We supposed to, you know, because she was supposed to help him. Now, she didn't even have no what do you call that? Nobody else to tell her, no, you don't have to do that. She thought that up in her own mind. She had that doubt in her own mind, right? The Quran said, remove all doubt. When you're involved in something, remove all doubt. You ain't got to think of, you ain't got to be, because that doubt is what's going to let you be able to become a hypocrite, right? Judas was a hypocrite, right? He said, man, I don't know if this dude's a real deal, man. He coming around talking about what's going on. Maybe I'll talk about that later, Vagoda. Right now, you know, I'm in the middle of what I'm talking about right now. But maybe I'll talk about it later. And I got to set those. Maybe I'll talk about it when I do a show with you. Anyway, who was I talking about this? Oh, Judas. Judas was a hypocrite, right? I'm down. Hey, Jesus, all you gotta do is call me, baby. I'm with it. Anybody run up on you, just let me know. I'll be right there, right? He's a hypocrite. He was the first hypocrite. First major one in the bunch, right? But Jesus saw it. Jesus saw it in him already. See, that's when you have what Elijah Muhammad called the radio in the head. You got a radio in your head. You can see people coming, and you know they suckers, right? You know they a sucker because of the way they rolling, because of the way they talking. They talking like a sucker, right? They rolling like a sucker. You like, oh man, I can't. Can you attach your wagon to a sucker? I'm not saying you got to be super rich or you just got to be solid, man. In this world, man, it's so many suckers out here. They suckers. And they can't even see how much of a sucker they are because they so possessed by these demons, man. These demons got them by the leg. They can't even see it. They suckers, right? And every move they make is to get some money or to get some fame or to get some views or clicks or whatever, right? Because they think that's going to catapult them into getting somewhere. But I'm talking to you. You talking to me, Clarence? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Make sure you don't attach yourself to no sucker. Oh, Clarence, I follow this man. I follow that man. Okay. I follow this woman, whatever. Whoever you following, okay. But you got to make sure, man, you got to, what do you call that? You got to test them, man. You got to give them a trial, or give their information a trial, or give their perspective a trial, right? Because if you don't try it, how do you know it's going, what they call, how you know that it's going to stand up to a pressure test? Everything has to stand up to a pressure test. You love your wife. You love your children. That's easy to say until a trial come up, right? The wife, I love my husband. Oh, it's easy to say. See, that's easy to say when there's food in the refrigerator. That's easy to say when you got an apartment to live in. That's easy to say when all your bills are paid. That's easy to say when you got extra money to go shopping. That's easy to say. I love my wife. I love my husband. But when a real serious health challenge come, right? Somebody find out they got something really that ain't going away. That's really tough. It's gonna change your whole life. I got a friend, found out his wife found out, I think on the same day she had, not epilepsy, but she had something else. She had epilepsy and the thing that Nick Cannon got. But they ain't got Nick Cannon money to be buying buffers for that. My friend got to stay home every day with his wife, man. Can't leave her alone for a minute. She'll have a seizure and die. He got to be right there. Or somebody's got to be right there. He can't even get a full-time job because he got to watch her. He got to watch her. Shout out to Patrice. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. A lot of stuff y'all take for granted. Me too sometimes. We taking stuff for granted, man. Your health, your job, your bank accounts, and all this stuff that you need to be in America. You taking it for granted, man. There's some people out here, man, they ain't got none of that stuff. That's when you see when somebody love you. That's when you see, or when you lose your mind because these demons got your brains, and you do something and lose your mind. You lose your mind. This woman got to look at you and say, do I love this man enough to try to walk him back in a sense? Or should I just let it, should I just cut the cord? See, that's what I'm saying. And you create relationships with people that's busters or hypocrites, as the Bible and Quran call them. Hypocrites. And a hypocrite, I'm telling you, man, that's the worst kind of person. Cain was a hypocrite. Cain was a hypocrite. See, hypocrites spread all this violence and wickedness around, man, because they playing like they one thing, but they really something else. They won't teach you the truth. The hypocrite don't want you to know the truth, because if you know the truth, then the hypocrite can't play you. If you know they trying to grease you to get in your pockets, you're gonna leave. You're gonna leave them alone. That's why we gotta have an open eye. I don't know if you need a third eye, but you need, well, like I said, Elijah Muhammad called the radio in the head. He said Jesus had the radio in the head, but he could see what people was up to. He could see already just how they was rolling. He could see. But nobody never said you can't learn how to have the radio in the head. You can learn how to have a radio in the head. Well, you can see people coming that's mean you no good. Mean your family no good. right? Shout out to Brother Bolo, the village. Shout out to them. Anyway, let me get back on Judas. Judas was a hypocrite. He was the first hypocrite, right? Lord, I'm with you. I love you. And this, giving them the kisses and all that. What happened? Jesus met his death over the hypocrite. Can I help you? 6. That's what time we close. Okay, bro. Sorry, y'all. Yeah. And then who else became a hypocrite? Peter, right? Man, G said, one of you guys gonna betray me. Peter like, what? Who is it? Who is it? Let's give him a smackdown. Let's deal with him right now. He said, it ain't me. I would never do nothing like that. I would never do nothing like that, Jesus, because I'm down. What they used to say out in New York, Bolo? I'm down by law. I'm down by law, right? Jesus said, homeboy, check this out, man. You're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. What? Peter got offended. What? How could you say that about me? You don't see how, man, I've been down all this time for you, and you gonna say that to me? Jesus, how could you? But y'all know how I got down. Hey, there go one of them right there. Talking about Peter, right? They was telling the Romans, hey, they were telling the Roman soldiers, hey, because they were trying to round up all the Jesus followers, right? Somebody said, hey, there go one right there. They rolled up on Peter. So what's up? What's up? You claiming Jesus? What's up? Who you down with? Huh? Jesus. Never heard of him. I never heard of him. Shout out to the movie South Central. I never heard of him. Right? But the point is, the hypocrisy is contagious. Lot had a wife. She's a hypocrite. All that time living with him in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And when the city went down, God told Lot to tell his people, hey, man, when you go out, don't look back. Don't look back. Whatever you hear, don't look back. You just keep moving forward. What happened? Lot's wife had a little bit of love for Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, I want to say a little bit. She had some love for the way that city ran, right? Way those cities operated, right? She was just used to it, right? Grew up in it, just used to it. Had a little bit of love for it, and enough of love for those cities than she had respect for God's word. So, God told her, hey, anybody turn back and look, they're going to get turned into a pillar of salt. What's a pillar of salt? I mean, if you can't put it on no food, is it any good? But that's what she got turned into, a pillar of salt. She wasn't no good no more. Her mind was gone with what she was watching down there, right? Because the angels of the Lord, right? The angels of the Lord, man, ain't no negotiating. Oh, we'll stop. Too late. Whoop, off with your head. Right? What I'm gonna do? Listen to you? And the God of the universe told me to lop your head off. Your head is gone, man. Your head is rolling. I ain't got no time to negotiate with you. hypocrites, busters, right? And the worst thing is you got a buster in your own camp, right? You got a buster in your own camp. Jesus had busters in his own camp, but he knew it. But he knew it, right? But his job was to do his mission regardless, fulfill his mission, regardless to the busters being in his camp. That was his job. Vaughn said she was fixated on the past and got stuck. Man, she grew up in that, Vaughn. You know how some people, man, they grow up in violence and they get a good man, get a good woman, man. Bro, I'm talking about brother get a good woman, sister get a good man, and they blow them out, right? They blow them out because why? That's all they know is dysfunction and confusion. So all they do is put dysfunction and confusion on that person who means well for them. But they don't, they so fixed. The Quran call it a fixed position. They in such a fixed position mentally that they can't let that go and move on and have a better life. They just can't do it. So who is the answer? God is the answer, man. I mean, to me, if you're in a fixed position mentally that's causing you to have issues, maybe you should give God a try, right? Well, Clarence, I ain't a thumper like you. It don't matter. I'm not a thumper. Really, I'm not. I don't think any of us are thumpers. I say that in love, calling us all thumpers, but we're really not thumpers. None of us are really going to be like, if you go to the Bolo TV in the village, they're not going to be like, you got to do this way. They're going to be saying, this is what it say on the paperwork. Now, I can't do nothing if you don't do what's on the paperwork. I'm just telling you what's on the paperwork, right? That's the same thing we doing, man. We just telling you, hey, this is probably the best way it's going to work out if you follow the creator of the creation. You having a problem with some creation, maybe you need to go to what they have, the instructions, the manufacturer's instructions. Maybe you should go to the manufacturer, right? You have a problem with a washing machine you bought, you go straight to Maytag and say, hey, Maytag, I don't know how to get the clothes to dry better and this and that. And they tell you how to do it, right? Well, damn, man, we having problems with all these people. We need to go to the manufacturer and say, hey, how do I live a better life, even though I'm surrounded with hypocrites? I'm surrounded with demons, what do you call that? People that got demons in them. Clarence, you think you better? No, I was possessed for a large portion of my life. I'm not talking bad about nobody. Most of our people are possessed and don't know it. They don't know it. And they don't know how to get unpossessed. And they're not interested in getting unpossessed because they don't even think they are possessed. Somebody start telling them, hey, man, maybe you have an issue with, maybe you have a companion that's giving you bad advice. What? Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. I mean, you don't want to keep losing. Okay. Is it better to be yourself? Is it better to be yourself? Or is it better to be a buster? Or what I say, a constant character, right? You got to be this character all the time. I had a friend one time, man, well, not a friend, but he was, he lived on the same street with me, right? And, he decided one day, he was a good little kid, man, good little kid. I got him by about 9 to 10 years. And, we used to play on the street and everything, him and, not just me and him, but I mean, all the kids. That was back in the day when kids would play in the street. And so I lived on a cul-de-sac, right? So we could play in the street pretty much all day because we didn't have no major traffic going down there, right? So anyway, this little dude was cool, man. He was a young kid, man. He was cool. And somewhere along the line, he decided that, he was going to be a Crip, right? And joined up with the local Crips. Okay. And I used to see him, man. And one time I confronted him. Now, I don't suggest you do this, but I knew this. So I said, hey, man, I said, it must be tough, man. You have because everything he said, yeah, cuz, I did this, cuz, and I did that, cuz. Yeah, cuz, I did, cuz. And I said, man, it must be hard that you have to play that position all day and all night, man. You can't just be yourself. He said, this is me. I'm being myself. I said, okay. I said, okay, beloved. That's what you want to do. That's what but I don't see it benefiting you. Oh, yeah, this and it. He used to tell me all kind like, I'm making money because he was selling drugs, right? And his parents had left him this big old huge house, right? And he said, I'm making money. Don't get me wrong, I'm making money. I said, okay. I said, okay, beloved. See, but I just because you got more money than me, that don't mean nothing to me. I know that means a lot to the rest of y'all out there, man. Not you guys listening, but I mean the rest of them out there. They feel like if this person got more money than them, then they more important. They have more. They're more important in everybody's eyes. I don't think like that. I think like this, man. Hey, you make your own self important. I'm only competing with myself. Right? If you got money, great for you. But I'm not gonna have an instant inferior complex because you got money. Anybody can make money, right? Ice-T said it best. All you need is a silly woman and a hotel room, and you can make a ton of money. Right? Anybody can make money. All you need is a bag full of rocks and a what do you call that? A busy corner, and you can make money. That don't mean you better than nobody. You just got money in your pocket. Even if you wear a 3-piece suit, go downtown and get paid by whoever, that don't mean you better than nobody else. I don't feel you better than me. Better is in service. Better is in service to your community. That's better, right? It's better for you to serve your community as God would have you than to have all that money, stack it away, get rich and rich and rich. And ain't nothing wrong with getting rich, but you get rich and then you turn your nose up at people that's not rich, thinking they stupid or this or that. I could have been a zillionaire, y'all. I could have been a zillionaire. But I got a granddaughter that I had to put time into. And that she's worth $1 zillion to me. Right? Right. As lessons I had to teach her. Right. One day she come to me and said, Grandpa, why you don't let me sit on your lap? Right? Why you don't let me sit on your lap? I said, because it's better if you don't. It's better. That's really not a good place. Because why? Other people had done that to her. Luckily it was women, but other people had done it to her. I don't want to be the one that's going to teach her that it's okay for her to sit on an old man's lap. No. So when somebody called and said, come here, girl, sit on my lap. Family, that is a bad look for men. Don't ever have your daughter sitting on your lap or your girl or your son. Don't sit nobody on your lap except your wife or your husband. Don't sit nobody on your lap that you ain't prepping to, you ain't gonna have sex with them at some point. That's what your lap is for. Your lap is for getting somebody who you are intimately involved with close enough to you so that, the chemistry can, you guys can build chemistry. I don't want to build no chemistry with no little girl. I'm 56 years old. What I need a baby sitting on my lap for? But sometimes we as men, man, we so blind by the devils, man, we can't see. Come here, girl, sit on my lap. So I told my granddaughter, hey, I said, nah, you shouldn't be sitting on nobody's lap. Nobody's lap. She said, okay, I understand, Papa. Right? Then she came to me one day, hey, Papa, how come you don't kiss me on the mouth? Right? Because I kiss her on her forehead or on the top of her head. She said, how come you don't kiss me on my mouth? I said, I'm not supposed to. I said, that's not for me to do. That's not for me to do. Right? I said, I can't kiss you on the mouth, baby. What I could do is kiss you on your forehead. That's where I'm supposed to kiss you at. One day you're gonna get a husband, and then your husband can kiss you like that, but not me. Well, what am I doing? I'm teaching her that that's out of bounds for any Negro. If it's out of bounds for me, who she loved with all her heart, it should be out of bounds for any random Negro that come up and try to get her to sit on the lap. Right? But there was a cost to teaching these lessons to her. There was a cost. I couldn't be out there, grinding, trying to make lots of money. Well, which one was more important? Would it have been better for me to be out there making all that money and then turn around and my granddaughter is running around sitting on grown men's laps thinking she's doing something good, getting attention? I wouldn't have been able to even spend that money, knowing that the reason why she's like that is because I was out of pocket. See, man, we gotta look everything we do in this world. We gotta look at it, man, with a fine tooth comb. Who you make friends with, who you make love to, what information, what authors you read, what news you watch. Everything, man. Everything as a man. Why? Because it's all on us. It's all on us. Claire, no, Claire, you got women. It's all women's fault. Really? Well, I'm going with the creator. The creator said, as by one man. He didn't say as by these two people. He said, as by one man, sin has entered the world. Did we miss that? Did we miss that? What is that telling us? That's telling us that men are chiefly responsible for how the environment is going to be set up. If you have a good man, your house will probably be set up in a way where it's going to be a good environment for in encouraging good out of all the other members of the family. Same thing with the woman. But if the man is not well, got problems. You got problems. Because most people are stuck in their childhood as far as their emotional development. What do you mean, Clarence? I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2". Yeah, you might be 6'2", but most people are stuck in in some type of childhood trauma. They just keep repeating it, reliving it in their heads. Every time something else happens to them, they'll relive that trauma to measure that trauma against the new trauma. I mean, it's just when God can take it away from us, right? Well, what do I know? Let's get somebody in here that knows something. that knows something. That knows something. Brother Bolo.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, big brother?
What's going on, my G?
Hey, I'm down by law, G. I'm down by law.
Let me get my deep voice going. Let me get my deep voice. Hey, here's a deep voice.
All right.
I'm in the tunnel right now.
Ah.
Let me turn that off. Yeah. What's going on, baby?
I don't know, beloved. I'm trying to figure this thing out, man. We try to get the people to understand that they got to watch who they connect with, man. Even if you connected so slightly with them, that or if you connected majorly with them, right? I was talking about Judas,
yeah,
right? And even though Jesus knew to play, he still let them come around, right? But that's Jesus. Right? You ain't Jesus.
Absolutely.
So you got to watch who you kicking it with. Then I went over and talked about, and you can talk about any one of these situations. I talked about Lot's wife.
Woo.
Yeah, played the role for a lot of years, right?
Lot's wife.
Yeah. Then I talked about
She
Eve.
did.
I talked about Eve.
Oh.
You know how she played the role.
You going deep today. You going real deep today, my G.
Hey, man, I got inspired by The Village on Friday night, man. I was trying to keep up, but I just like, and I'd be so mad at my wife, like it's her fault, right? I turned the TV off. I was like, why?
Blame it on the rain, brother. Don't blame it on you. Blame it on the rain.
He said, you've been asleep for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm having issues because I got some new equipment, but I'm getting my I'm upgrading my computer, so you might hear a little feedback. So forgive me for that.
Okay, no problem, man. But what do you think, and what is your perspective on anything I've been talking about, or any of those people in the Bible I've been talking about, or do you know of any other ones?
Well, yeah, there's a few, man, but you know, you're talking almost, I would say, directly on what we were talking about Friday night.
Okay.
Testimony Friday, and we were showing the video. We didn't get to finish the video. I'll finish the video later, but we were talking about PTSD, right? Yeah. And these young men and young women that go through it, that's in the inner cities, and and the documentary, it's a short documentary that was being recorded in LA, in Death's Alley. I don't know what you would know better than me. Death's Alley. That's what the street they call it. And this was a school that they put smack dab in the middle of Death's Alley. So, you had these little kids, these young adults that were just saying that, yo, man, we see this every day. How many times are you going to say, wow?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How many times are you going to say wow before it just numbs you? And you said it 100% earlier, that you function in your dysfunction thinking that you're functional. And I say that all the time.
Yeah.
If I know nothing other than what I've been exposed to, then I don't know that there can be a different world out there. I don't know that what I'm doing or how I'm feeling is wrong if everything around me is what it is, right? So you're 100%. So, when you come into the word, like you were so eloquently saying, when you come into the word, it gives you an option. Who you are right now is not who you have to be. So you have to you have to make that choice on what you want to do, because it's a hard road. It's not an easy road. When you look at, Christ gives you so many different examples of the vibration of leaving someone where they are, right? I'll give an example.
Right.
When we talk about like the time when he is, bless you, when he was dealing with Pontius Pilate, right? When the Pharisees and Sadducees was trying to ask him questions, he didn't answer. He didn't pay them no mind. Why is it? because their mind was already made up. There was nothing that he could say at that moment there that he could say to change their mind. What they were trying to do is get him caught up. But Pontius Pilate at that moment was open to conversation. So this is why he would answer questions or conversed with Pontius Pilate. So when you look at Judas and Peter, Peter, well, let's do Judas first. Judas betrayed Christ. He betrayed Christ. Peter denied Christ.
Okay, what's the difference?
Damn. Okay. I can give you my synopsis on it, and then I'll look it up because I want us, I always in the village, we always go through the definition. Betrayed is I turned you over.
Okay.
I turned you over. I gave you over. His mind was already seared on what he was going to do.
Okay.
There was no changing Judas's mind. This is why the scriptures tell you that it was better that Judas had not been born, right?
Yeah.
When you look at my man Peter.
Okay.
Peter got caught up in the moment. You know what I'm saying? The reason why Christ told Peter that, you're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crows, there was a reason. The reason why he told him that was and you see it play out later. You don't see it play out right there, Brother Clarence. But he told him that to soothe his mind later. Because they knew who Christ was. Peter and them dudes, the 12, they knew who Christ was. They knew who they were walking with, right? This is why when they keep asking, when will we get to see God? Like, man, when you see me, you see God. So they knew who Christ was. So Peter had a bigger part to play in the gospel. So like a bunch of us, a lot of the times, you know how people speak when they don't go through a certain experience. They always say, you know what I'm saying? This is what I would do. I hate when people speak about slavery and they speak like they're better than those people, than all people that went through slavery, right? I hate when they speak like that. And my response to them is always, we couldn't handle what those men and women went through in slavery.
Yeah.
We're not built for that.
Right.
Do you understand the spirit and the strength that these men and women had on them to still sing, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere, while their hands are being cut off, their feet are being cut off, and still have faith? Still have strength to go against master? We don't have that kind of spirit, my G, to have a whip that goes faster than the speed of sound.
Wow.
Touch your back. Wow. To have your woman raped in front of you and you can't do nothing, but still stand firm as a family. So when these cats talk in that vibrato and they talk in that ego and in that pride, the first thing I say is, you don't understand what you're talking. First of all, you don't understand what you're asking. Because the one thing that that God is going to always do is prove you to you. He's going to always prove you to you. So when Katz is always talking about, I'm tougher than concrete, I'm tougher than this, he's going to put you in a situation where you understand that you're not tougher than concrete. You're not. So I'm saying all that to say that he said that to Peter, let Peter know that, listen, man, it's okay. You have to deny me. Because he was a big part of the gospel, right? If you don't deny me, you're going to die right here. And my plans that I have for you will not happen. So he gave him that information more for his sake than it was for anything else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like if I tell you, like, you ever seen The Matrix?
Yes, sir.
Remember what my man Cypher said to Neo? When they said that Neo was supposed to be the one, he's supposed to be the guy, and he was supposed to jump across that roof, and he failed. And what Cypher said to him was, we all fail at the first time. The first time we all fail. So that kind of gives you solace to like, damn, okay, cool. I'm not going to put that pressure on myself like I'm supposed to be that dude, even though they were putting the pressure on him that he was that dude. The difference between Peter's heart and my man Judas's heart was Judas's heart was already made up. You dig what I'm saying? There
Yeah.
was no talking to Judas. Peter fell victim in the moment. And so how many of us fall victim in the moment, Brother Clarence?
Yeah, see, and that's what I always thought about. I always thought about it like, because Peter is all of us. All of us have gotten caught up, right? And did something, right? But Peter is the one. Peter shows that, kind of like David, you can get caught up, but if you carry this teaching with you, you can walk yourself back into, having some sense in your head,
Absolutely. I like the way you just said that. Peter is all of us,
right?
And Judas are those that have seared their heart against Christ.
Yeah, I would say definitely premeditated.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I could kind of listen. I try to be empathetic and sympathetic towards everybody, so I can try my best to understand why he did what he did.
Yeah.
He figured from the understanding that I've read and that I gather from the scriptures that he can push Christ's hand. Right? Here it is. I'm walking with the dude with all the power in the universe. And my people is in slavery. And I don't want this. You dig what I'm saying?
You know what? Bolo.
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if we chop it up with some people? Right.
Absolutely.
Marcus is asking me to drop these. Shout out to Marcus, by the way. Another good dude. All right. Let me put the link out there. Are you ready to you got a minute, man?
Yeah. I'm here with you, brother.
All right.
I always got more than a minute.
I know, man. I didn't know if you had to go, be down by law, G. I didn't know what you had to do.
I just got one question I want to ask you, and hopefully you can answer it honestly.
Okay.
Okay. Have you shined the belt today? Asking a question.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. You got new equipment. I can't understand. I can't hear you. Yeah, you got to check that out, man. I can't understand. I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. Something about some belt or something, man. Hey, man. Hey, Bolo.
Yes,
you
sir.
know what? Why don't you just be like a rerun, man? Get you some suspenders, man. If you need a belt, go get you some suspenders, man. but seriously.
Yes, sir.
Round 2 is coming up, bruh. I don't think it's gonna be as what's the word I want to use? I don't think it's gonna be as close of a decision as it was last time.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, brother.
Okay, I'm just dropping it on you, man. Just
baby.
remember you said like Jesus was telling him, just letting them know. I'm just letting you know. That's all. So you ain't got to be running around thinking about it at dinner time, thinking about it here, thinking about it there. You're sitting on the village. They're like, Bo. I'm just trying to get you. I'm just trying to get you to understand. That's all. Mr. Best.
What's going on, family?
What's going on, big brother? Thank you for saving this man from having to hear about
not the rap battle again, man. Y'all can't get enough, can you?
How the next beatdown is gonna go, man. Thank you for saving him, man. I know he's shaking.
Man,
he's shaking
again,
in his boots
man.
right now, man.
Not again, man.
What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Best? What do you think about what we're talking about, man? And what's your thoughts?
I think that I think everything you're saying is definitely on par. I think I love how you was telling the cautionary tale of the young man you grew up with in your neighborhood, and just how he just wasn't aware of certain things that was going on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I think the awareness factor is huge. And we got to hear stories like that, because if we're not hearing these stories, people can just fall into the pits. They can go through things and they can just be thinking, "Oh, I got it," or "I can handle it," or "I can do that." It's like, nah, man, you
yeah,
don't, you know what you're getting yourself into. And I
yeah,
think, and that's not just for social media. It's a life lesson. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And we really have to be cautionary about the people that we're around, the people that we support, the people that we have around us. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that you was breaking down how when you get tested, that's how you're gonna find out really who you are. You know what I'm saying?
yes, yeah,
And um, I love the fact, I think Bolo used the whole Matrix scenario, right? Yeah,
yeah,
he used the whole Matrix scenario about how everyone fails the first time, so we all have to. Everything in life is trial and error. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, and hey, sometimes some people may get it. You may luck up and get everything good the first time around. Everything may work out. You may do a Magic Johnson. You may go and win a championship the first time you try.
yeah,
But a lot of times that's not how life is, man. A lot of times you got to go through growing pains and you got to kind of figure it out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, that's just how it is for the most part.
yeah. Um, I try to use examples from the Bible because I think that's the book that most people are aware of, and you can see that now. Bolo made a good point. Now, I kind of didn't break it down like that, but he did make a good point, which is I was talking about Peter and I was talking about Judas, right? They both messed up. So that's where I was saying they both messed up. But if you break it down a little deeper, like Bolo did, you'll find you see that one messed up because he just had a moment of weakness, and one messed up because he had a determined idea. He had a determined mind. Hey, I'm gonna get these 30 pieces of silver. I'm gonna get them. And so what I got to do to get them? Oh, you guys got to point the man out, point your man out, and it's yours. He points the man out. He gets the 30 pieces of silver. What's his next move? I mean, he didn't even have a chance to go to the script club. Shout out to Von Bryant. He didn't even have a chance to go to the script club, man. He went in and he just, executed himself because he couldn't sleep with himself or live with himself after he realized and the gravity of what happened, what he did, hit him. And Jesus' teaching was so into him, he didn't even realize how deep Jesus' teaching was in him till he had to equalize the situation, unfortunately. But my main point talking about all of this today was the rest of us, not that person, but the rest of us that attach our wagons to them, we have to watch out, right? Because we can get into romantic relationships with busters. We can get into business relationships with busters. We can get into all kind of different relationships with people. But those are the two most dangerous situations, business and romantic relationships with them, where they see how much these kind of people, they see how much you love them. Shout out to Anthony T. Biz. They see how much you love them, and they will manipulate your love for them to maneuver you into serious uh, positions of what do you call that, vulnerability, right? Because in the end, they really don't care what's going to happen to you. Like Judas, right? He really didn't care.
And when you look at even the Lord tells you it's not the beginning of a thing that matters, it's the ending, right? Because sometimes the beginning of something can be terrible and tragic and it ends beautifully. When you look at the ending of Peter and you look at the ending of Judas, right? Judas committed he deleted himself in the selfish attempt to not deal with what he just did. Right? And Peter was deleted in service to Christ. So you can see how both of them lived out their lives and see the difference in the fruit that they bear and in the actions that they walked in, right? So, don't get the to the people out there that we're having these conversations for, don't get the two mixed up. It's very important.
The purpose is mixed up. But I want them to understand that this can happen to any one of us.
Absolutely.
Any one of us could go haywire, right? Any one of us could go haywire. So to promote the fact that we don't go haywire, we don't get involved with people, we gotta have some type of clarity to be able to see. Jesus knew Peter and Judas. He knew the reason why Judas was going to do what he's doing. He knew why Peter was going to do what he was doing. But Peter had a job to do, right? Judas had a job to do, right? But they both had different purposes for why they did what they did. One just had a minimum. Now, the question is, what are we going to do when we have a mental misstep? Because the situation is this world is so wicked now, you can have one misstep, spend the rest of your life in prison. Or you can have one misstep and, be gone, be up out of here. You know what I mean?
I do have a question for y'all, but Bruce, I know you got your question first, so.
No, go ahead. I'm just talking. I'm just
Okay.
clearing it up.
So how do you pull somebody out the fire? Business wise, okay, you can kind of talk to somebody and they can make the decision or whatever. In those conversations, business wise, people may be willing to have with you when it comes to their business, right? They may be a willingness to have that. But romantically, people ain't really trying to hear you when it comes to their romantic situation.
Right.
That's kind of cautionary thing. I think we've all heard like mind your business when it comes to somebody's romance. It could be
right.
It could be as close. It could be as close as your mom and your dad, or brother, sister, or whoever. We've heard this before. We kind of know this, right? So when we know somebody is probably with somebody that's a straight demon, they probably dating somebody that's a straight demon. How do we pull that person out of fire? Like, what do we do? Like, literally, like, what do we do?
Okay, let me go first because you know who's going to talk the longest, right?
That's
first.
That is so wrong.
Huh? What?
But you're right.
Did I say something about you, man? I wasn't even. I was kind of talking about you, but not talking about you, but kind of. All right, let me go first, Mr. Best, because we know who's going to talk the longest. All right, so this is my opinion. Bolo might come in a whole nother different direction. That's why I love him. He may agree with me, he may not, whatever. But at least you're going to get some good information, right? Okay, so in my opinion, that's a misnomer, man. You cannot pull somebody out of a fire. You can't pull them out. Only thing you can do is put the rope out there and put the life preserver and say, grab it, I'll pull you in if you want, but you can't force them to grab that life preserver, man. At least I don't know of a way to be able to do that, where they grab that thing and they say, man, thank you, I'm glad you did it. If that's not truly in their heart to do, I don't know no kind of way to get them to do that. The best thing you can do for somebody, listen to all y'all out there. This is the best thing you can do for almost anybody out here. The best thing you could do for somebody is be a good example of what you're talking about. Try to be the best example of what, if you're telling somebody to do something, don't be out here saying, I don't like the people driving around here with no license. You should have a license. And then you don't have a license, right? Try to be the best example of what you're trying to teach or preach. If that's the first thing, right? Because hypocrisy turns people off. If you not what you say you're going to be, if they see, because first thing, especially people that don't want to listen to you, what they're going to do is try to poke holes in your character already, right? They're looking for hypocrisy in what you're saying. and how you moving. But if you just be, just be who you are and be the best person, and you just, hey, I have faults too. I'm fighting this stuff too. So I'm not telling you as a person that's above you. I'm telling you as a person that's been through it, and I'm right with you. I'm walking, and I think that, I don't have to walk on what Jesus say. My burden is light. My yoke is, when we say my burden, well, Bolo will tell you, my burden is light and my yoke is easy. Okay, so even though I'm stepping on the same hard surface that you stepping on, I don't feel it as bad because I can go to the manufacturer and always get the updates, get the downloads, right? And so that's what I would do. Now the next most important thing is don't judge them, right? Sometimes we judge somebody. How can you be with somebody that do this? And how can you be with somebody that do that, right? We'll judge these people. That's the worst thing you can do is judge a person. If you're trying to get them, if you're trying to help them, the best thing you do, don't judge them. Just keep the light out for them. Keep the the ladder out. And eventually, when they hit a snag that they can't keep lying to themselves anymore, they can't keep telling themselves, I'm good. When they finally realize that they've just been lying to themselves the whole time, that's when they may step to you, right? Most of the time, God is the last thing on our list. We think we know everything. We go through it. We go do all this stuff, man, and we get destroyed out here, right? And at the end of all that, that's when we say, you know what? Let me try God, right? Let me try God. And then it works a little bit for us, and then we try a little more and try a little more, and then we be like, what are we doing? Could have been doing good. But the best thing is always keep a good, what do you call that? Not personality, but always keep a good attitude and, encourage them to seek better for themselves. And that's all you can do, in my opinion, brother. Now I'm going to let Bolo talk because he's going to talk forever. Bolo!
Listen, here's the thing. I may not talk that long. I'm drinking some wine. So when I drink wine, I'm more straight to the point. I see your face.
Drinking wine on a Sunday? What?
No doubt. So, I'm a little bit more loosey-goosey right now. So everything Brother Clarence said was 100% on point. But I'm going to give you a story. Like Brother Clarence said, I'm long-winded. So I'm going to give you a story. Here's the story, and this is how it goes. There was a snake one day crawling, or whatever the hell they do, creeping across the street or against the grass, and it went over a rake. And it got upset and angry. And it wrapped around the rake. Angered. And every time it wrapped around that rake, it would feel more pain. And it would get more angrier. And it would wrap tighter. Angry and angrier it came, and tighter it wrapped to the point where it died. So what is the moral to the story? A lot of the times we don't know how to let go, right? We continue in that anger and we want to move in that anger. So Clarence said, all we can do is throw someone a lifeline that's in a relationship. They have to realize what they're doing. Sometimes, again, they may not know, anything other than what they see. And our job is to be a light. Our job is to plant and water. God gives the increase. Way too often we make God the last option when he should be the first one. God, we put him in that case in case of break when he should be the first. And this is the thing that we need to understand. Anger is what is what we move in. Anger, ego, pride, malice, strife, all these different attributes and all these different emotions, right? That lead you down a road of destruction. So I'm going to read a scripture. This is James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20. Listen to what God says. He says, so then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear. Now, we all know what swift means, right? Swift means to be quick.
Of course.
Be swift to hear, slow to speak. Be quiet. Hear the whole solution. Take in the moment. Take in everything that is around you. And what do I say all the time? Think panoramically. The only way you're able to think panoramically is to take in everything that is around you. That means you're going to talk to other people to get their perspective or whatever it is, to make sure that your next movement is the right movement with all of the information that you take in. He says, slow to wrath. A lot of us ain't slow to wrath, right? The first reaction is anger. First reaction is anger. First reaction is vengeance. The Lord is telling you to be slow in wrath, my G. Take your time. I'm not telling you that, anger is not needed or warranted. I'm telling you, be slow, my G. Be slow. For wrath of a man does not produce the righteousness of God. So before you move, take in everything that you need to take in so that the decision that you make is the correct or the right decision for that moment. So again, a lot of the times we are so emotionally caught up or so emotionally attached to whatever situation that we're in, we are unable to see clearly. Because I'm in it. Brother Clarence is my brother and he's going through something. I'm attached to it. I want him and his marriage to be good. So you know what I'm saying? I'm in it. I'm attached to it because that's my brother and I love him. But we have to understand that the information and the knowledge that you're giving him is not going to be conducive because of the close proximity you have. You're not looking at it objectively. You're looking at it subjectively. And that's the problem, right? The problem is we're not looking at it from both perspectives. A lot of the times the advice that men get from men is from a man's perspective. They're not giving the perspective of, hold on, dog. Why would your wife act like this? You've been married to her for 78,000 years and she's never tripped out like this. But now she's tripping. So it's going to lean me to ask you, what did you do or what happened for her to be moving the way she's moving? Cats don't move like that. You listen to half these people on YouTube and these panels, these dudes go straight in. The woman is off. The woman is this. The woman is that. The woman is that. Opposed to saying, hold on. So you're telling me she's always been on point, right? Yeah. She's never acted out? No. But she's doing it this week. So then something has been put into this dynamic that wasn't there last week. That's objectively looking at a situation. And a lot of us don't have those type of circles. We don't. And that's where it becomes dangerous. Because again, instead of looking at what is right, what we start to look at is what is right for you. And that's wrong. Brother Clarence said that. That is wrong. What's right for you doesn't mean that it is right, period. So we have to look at the situation. Why is this dude moving the way he's doing? Why is this woman moving the way he's doing? Can there be something bigger than what we're looking at? Right? It's kind of sort of like when you go to the doctor. The doctors ask you, okay, what's your issue? Well, my head is hurting. When did this start? Such and such. Okay, here's 2 ibuprofen. Take this prescription and go such and such. Duke, it might be something bigger than that. It might be a symptom of a bigger problem. They don't take enough time, usually. And I'm not going to say all doctors, but most doctors don't take enough time to actually get to know who you are, know what your history is, to know that this is just a symptom to a bigger problem. They treat the symptoms. They don't treat the sickness. And that's what a lot of us do when we give advice. We treat the branches opposed to killing the root.
Agreed.
Let's deal with the root. I hate dealing with branches, my G. Let's deal with the root, bro, because the branches will be here all day. Let's deal with the root cause of the issue. When did she start doing this? Okay, so she wasn't doing this before that, right? So we got a starting point. Let's go there. Why is this dude always picking chicks that emasculate him? I'm not going to blame the chicks. I'm not going to say the woman is the problem. I'm going to say to you, brother, every woman that you've ended up with emasculated you. Why are you ending up with these women? The problem is you, because you're the common denominator in this equation. We have to look for commonality in this thing. What is causing Rico to act up?
Yeah.
What's causing Rico to act up? He just popped up. Let's find out why Rico's acting up. He wasn't acting like this 2 weeks ago, but he's acting like this now. So prior to 2 weeks ago, Rico, what the hell happened? So now we need to address that. And that's the issue. A lot of the times when we give advice and when we're talking, we deal with branches opposed to dealing with roots. And we have to understand that we can't take this personal. We are not the savior. We are not the answer. Christ is the answer. Our job is to lead these men and women to Christ and let them build their relationship with him and understand who he is so that they can find their strength in him. Rico in the building?
Yeah, he's in the building.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Mr. Best, can you
Yes, sir.
ask your question to Rico? Let Rico get a swing at it.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Salute to Mr. Rico. So my question was, because Rosie was saying that that at times when people are doing things in a way business wise or or even romantically, what I mean, it's what I mean, if they have the wrong relationships business wise and romantically, it could like really lead to their downfall. So I was saying business wise, you can actually have a conversation with somebody, you know what I mean, and actually kind of talk to them about if they're doing the wrong thing or they're around the wrong people. But romantically, nobody's really trying to hear that. They're not trying to hear your perspective. They don't want to. They don't want you saying nothing about their woman or their man. And if you do, it could kind of lead to maybe an argument or maybe even a physical altercation could sometimes happen, right? So how do you help somebody if you see that they romantically, if they're in a wrong relationship, if they're dating somebody that's not for them or not right for them? Like how would you handle that for somebody that you're close to or you care about?
Just give me a moment to just take in what the question that you're asking, and because I know that the seriousness of people being in an emotional romantic relationship is different. It is vastly different than a business relationship. A business relationship, I wouldn't be emotionally involved. Obviously, in a romantic or intimate relationship, it's I'm not always thinking strategically or logically because I'm also thinking emotionally. Um, I can say that as I told Bro C, I'm in various spaces. Um, you guys see me over here in these manosphere black uh, male female gender relationship spaces, but I spend a lot of time also in other spaces like the travel space or passport bro spaces. And in those spaces, they deal with a lot of men going overseas, supposedly looking for emotional relationships, and they end up being wildly problematic, disastrous, just horrible. So in those cases, trying to tell people how to deal on a relation on an emotional basis, it's almost it's always a case by case basis, because the thing is you don't know the gentleman and the female that you're dealing with. So I could sit there and say, me today, I could be in a relationship with person A today, and I can know exactly how this relationship would go. But if I'm with person B, it could be totally different. It's never the same. Um, and in doing that, trying to sit there and say, oh, okay, with business, I could say, okay, I could look at what expenses. You can do what do they call it in business? You have accounts payable, accounts receivable. it's just set in black and white, no matter what the business is. This is how much we pay out for the business. This is how much we receive in, and this is how we do the balance. But in relationships, it varies person to person. It's not a black and white thing that you can do for everybody, because person A, it might work that way. Person B, it won't. So, in saying that, I think, y'all forgive me for a moment. I got my grandkids here. But what I'm saying is, you can't put it out and say that this is how it will be all the time in every case, because there's just way too many variables when it comes to a relationship. It's just wildly, and what I'll sit there and say is, the variables is not only is it between what person you're dating, it's even where you are at a particular time in your life. Because Rico today wasn't Rico 10 years ago, wasn't Rico 20 years ago, wasn't Rico 30 years ago. Each Rico, every generation was a different person. So how I would interact, even with my wife today, I would interact with her 3 different ways each generation. Now, fortunately, I found someone that's willing to deal with each Rico as I evolve and change and go through the shit that I go through. But oh my God. Y'all forgive me for a minute. I got family busting my top. But that's the reality. So what I'm sitting there saying is, there's no easy answer. Y'all got me on a Sunday, family time. I apologize.
Go do your family time, Rico.
No. I want to continue listening.
Okay. All right. Okay, gentlemen, we've been talking about the busterization going on, right? A lot of busterized things. But I just flipped it over.
Can you tell me what a buster is? What's a buster?
A buster is a fake person, is a person that's trying to be something they're not.
Okay.
And then when they get called on it, they back off of what their position.
Okay, right? So I'm going to say it like you, buster.
Yeah.
They're busters.
Yeah, busters.
Yeah, we don't say busters. We say buster.
Buster. Yeah, no, see, this ain't like Buster Rhymes.
So, Clarence, bro, see, that one showed up. Okay, be quiet. Now get out. Now here's Zoe. Come here. Here come the birthday girl.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Okay, all right. Now get out. Right. See what I'm saying? They won't leave me alone, right?
Happy birthday.
We're graduating. We're graduating.
They're graduating from grade school.
All right.
So right. So people don't think I have a life outside of this nonsense. Zoe, say hi and bye. Say bye. Say adios.
Hi.
Okay, get out. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to share that so people say, "Oh, he don't have no label." I'm like, okay, whatever. So when you don't see me sometimes, this is where I be. I'm dealing with my little monsters.
The cold crackers. That's who we called them, the cold crackers. We had to talk in code, and every once in a while they would break the code. You're talking about my dad. You're talking about my father.
Yes. Go ahead, gentlemen. I apologize.
All right, man. All right. So look, so we're talking about the busters, right? And I brought in the Bible and the Quran because the Bible and the Quran don't call them busters. The Bible and the Quran call them hypocrites, right? They call them hypocrites. All right, fam. So I started something here. Hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah. So now, what's our goal? And the Bible and the Quran tells us to stay away from people like that, right? People that are pretending to be one thing and they're actually something else, right? We see this on cartoons. Remember the old school cartoons, Bolo? I don't know, Mr. Best, that old, but old school cartoons where somebody would have the power Like remember the Super Friends, and they had the Wonder Twins, form of a bottle of water, shape of a orangutan, right? One of them could turn to animal, one could turn to something was about water, right? So, but you could see that you could see that person, you could see them changing into whatever it is, right? Well, if you got your eyes really open, you see the person changing, right? They don't physically change, but they spiritually change, right? Because their spirit is focused on, they will pretend to how they focus on what you spiritually have focus on. And then when the trials come, right? Right? Trials purify, right? What does that mean? Trials purify. Wait a minute, man. Before I even get started on anything else, let's get everybody's opinion. See if we're all on the same page. What does trials purify mean? And you know how I'm gonna go last because he talks the most. So let me start with Rico. Rico, I know you're not a thumper, and you don't have to be, but just what do you think, from your opinion, trials purify means? Ooh, them grandkids will catch you up. See, I know about that, man. Them grandkids will catch you up, man. Before you know it, you like, what? I was on the live. What? I was in the chat. What? All right, so Mr. Best, Mr. Best, Mr. Best is over at Rico's house.
I'm here, sir. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
With them grandkids, Mr.
I'm here.
Best.
Yeah.
Okay, like I was telling Rico, you don't have to be a thumper. Just what is your opinion of the phrase "trials purify"? So make sure we all on the same page.
That's basically to me growing pains. You know what I mean? Like
What
that's
does
a
that
form of
mean?
growing pains.
What does
Like
that mean?
that's basically me like um you have to go through things. Oh man, big ant in the building. I don't even know what I should talk right now. But but now that means you have to go through certain things in order to basically be enlightened or in order to grow, right?
There you go.
It talks about
I'm a growth.
how to you know how the word sharpens us, right? How it
Uh-huh.
sharpens us, how it makes us better, and how it basically, sharpens our character and helps us to grow.
Mm.
So that's what that means. It means that, when you go through something, it's to help to sharpen you and make you better. You know what I mean? And to
Agreed.
purify you. You know what I mean? If you
Agreed.
allow it to. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Agreed. I'll take most of that. Uh Let me see. I gotta choose between Bolo and Anthony, and I think Anthony is a little better. They both can go. They both can spend some time with you, but I'm gonna take Anthony. I'm gonna take Ant. I'm gonna take Ant. I think
Wow.
We're
Ant.
both
Hey, hey,
long-winded.
I'm
We're
telling
both
you.
long-winded.
Yeah. I think Ant is a little better. I'm gonna say, what I'm saying, if I got something on the stove, I'm going with Ant. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? At least I can at least get it out. Bolo, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that casserole, man. It might burn up. What's going on, Ed? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, fellas. How y'all doing?
Big brother number
All
one.
right, man. We just having fun out here, man. We just having fun. All right, man. So I'm asking the question, what in your opinion, what does trials purify mean? What does that mean? Ed?
Well, I'll say,
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
All right.
I'm working at the same time, so
Okay, yes, sir.
it's been a crazy weekend.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it just what it's talking about is it builds character. So it's a take on what happens when a person who deals with gold or silver, uh, they just don't melt it down and start, then take it and pour it out, start using it, right? There's a
Okay.
process behind it. And what it
Okay.
does is to remove what's called the dross away from the pure metal of itself, so that the metal itself is pure. So a lot of the things when we talk about trials and the purification that trials really do, um, really what it does, it basically shows you where you're at. It shows you where you're at. So it shows the things that you need to work on. It shows where you're lacking, but it also shows where you're strong. It also shows how you've progressed, right?
Okay.
So it's just the same thing. You can attribute this to anything. I'm a big sports nut, right? So I can point at basketball, we can point at football or whatever else, and the person who starts playing football in middle school is not the same person that they are when they go to college.
Correct.
Right? It's completely different. There's a learning process that happens. They learn fundamentals, things of that nature, but it doesn't mean that the practices aren't hard. It doesn't mean that those tour days back in the day didn't wear you out and put you down, right? So, but all that time, during that whole time, you learned patience, you built up your strength, you learned endurance, how to persevere when situations are not the most ideal, and it gave a check on your character. Do you give up when things get tough, or do you continue to fight? Do you continue to move forward?
Good point. Good point.
Now go check your casserole.
No, that's a good point, man. Good point. See, I can go now, man. And, and matter of fact, I went and checked. Y'all didn't see me. I went and checked. Everything's good. I had to throw it back in there. Now, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to get back at it, but we'll try. But you see what I put in the private chat. It's a good long-winded. Bolo's got a good long. It's a good long-winded. I mean, long-winded in a good way. But hey, I want to hear what he got to say too, and I don't want to interrupt, so I let him go last. All right, Bolo. What does trials purify? I don't know if you're gonna get any better than Mr. Best or but what do you think? What do you say, bro?
The only thing I can do is add to what they said, because they right. So trials purify. Someone's character is going to be tested, and you're going to be able to see what they are and who they are through the trials that they go through. The finest of metals are tested through fire.
Correct.
So the finest of characters are tested through the things that they go through and how they persevere, how they figure things out, how they go through things, and when they come out of it, who they are and where they are, and the thought process that they go through. So when you read 1 Peter 1:7, Christ says it the best, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than the gold that perisheth, through it be tested with fire, might be found unto praise and unto honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. So, the Lord compares us to gold and compares us to silver and all these different things, right? But our faith through trial is more important than gold. He just uses gold as the example to show that, when you pull gold out of the ground, it has so many different impurities. But through the furnace fire of affliction that we go through, so the furnace of fire that they go through, that metal goes through, is what gives it its purity. Right. Okay. And I always tell you this, I always say this story. So yes, I'm long-winded, and I apologize for being long-winded. But I give this story. A woman wanted to talk to a blacksmith, and she wanted to know how do you know when the gold is ready? And he said, well, let me tell you the process that we go through. We take the gold, we put it into the hottest of fires, and we hammer it into the shape that we want it to go through. If you leave it in too long, it burns. If you leave it too less, it still has impurities in it. So she said, how do you know when it's ready? He said, when I see my reflection in it.
Oh.
That's when I take it out of the fire.
Okay.
So how do we know when God is ready, and when we pull out of the fire of affliction? When he sees his reflection in us. So until then, we will be here going through the fire of affliction, being tried and tested, and all the impurities being pulled out of us, so that we can be that pure gold that God can see his reflection in.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, gentlemen, then I got another follow-up question then. Since we all pretty much on the same page as far as trials purify, meaning that, we're gonna have to get some heat in this life. Just because we say I believe in God, that don't mean a recliner falls out of the sky and we never had no problems again. No, 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 no. To the contrary, we still gonna have problems. Still gonna have it. Now we're gonna have the extra issue of trying to uh, defend our position as far as being a believer in God as this world is turning its back on God. And anybody who's still believing in God, we are going to be persecuted. Now, like like you was talking about Jesus, can you handle this? Can you handle the persecution that's coming? Because you are going to be tried. You are going to be tried. That's a definite. Okay. Now, how do we, if we know that trials are coming, right? When we have a person that's with us, how do we know, or can we know? I have my own feeling about this, so I'll go last. But can we be in a position where we can learn to see a person's character and have an estimation of how they will respond under certain trials? You guys understand the question?
Say that one more time.
Okay. Is there a way? We were taught in the nation that Jesus could see things, and Elijah Muhammad calls it the radio in the head, where he could see people's character, he could see how they moved, and he could get a good estimate of how they were going to respond in certain situations, i.e., when he told Peter what he was going to do, right? So my point, and other people. So my point is, can we become like that? If Jesus said that we could do the stuff that he was doing, outside of the godly, the major God stuff, but I'm talking about if he said that we're going to be able to do certain things, can we, do you think that we would be able to see certain things in our spouse, in our business partner, in our children, whoever, friendships, whoever? Do you think we will be able to learn how to see that stuff and kind of either address it, or once we recognize that it's not being addressed, be able to leave? Because that's the hard part right there. But you unravel that how you want, and and just give me what you think about that.
The quick answer to that is yes. You can be like that. You basically just have to know how to basically not be in a hurry, how to take stock of different things and people. The scripture tells you that you will know them by their fruit, right? So a person can tell you anything, right?
Right.
But in everything that they tell you, how do they move? How do they behave? How do they act? If they say I'm cool as the other side of the pillow, but anytime the least bit of adversity, arises, they freaking out and running around like they clothes are on fire, then that tells you they are not who they say they are, right? If a person says that they are an honest person, a person of integrity, and a person of good, upstanding character, but they do underhanded business dealings, or they skim off people's money, right? Overcharge them for stuff that they shouldn't be overcharging for, just so they can pocket a little more bread, right? When push comes to shove and it's a call to have to stand up for truth, they're willing to fade into the background and rest on the lie, right?
Right.
They're not who they say they are. And I think a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, they spend a lot of time listening to what people say and taking that as fact versus seeing what people do. Because you can have a person that says all kind of things,
Yeah.
so that they will be promoted to whatever part of the masses that they're trying to get the attention of, and yet and still on the back end they operate a different way, right?
Right.
So we have to understand that a person's character, a way a person says the things that a person says that they believe, it should be a part of who they are. It should be a part of life. That's why I'm real, when people sit up there and we have conversations, and Bolo will tell you in a second that I'm quick to go. They'll say, well, yeah, I follow God, this and this and this and this, but your life don't show that, right? You can say I follow God. You can say that you're about that life, but if your lifestyle is not that, right? If you're doing everything counter to what God has said, I have to sit back and go, no, that's not true. And people get upset because they'll say, well, you're being judgmental, you're judging. And my response to it is, I am judging because we judge everything on the daily. We judge the way we go to work. We judge what stores we go to based on location, sales, whatever the case may be. We consistently judge, and we consistently judge basically off of the action. The question is, are we falsely judging? Right? We could be judging righteously, but are we falsely judging someone because of a bias? Are we judging based on a preconceived notion? Are we judging from what they show us? That is a difference. If you show me that I can't trust you, and there's a possibility that you could take my life, well, I'm not going to act like you're not going to be able to take my life.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We all have had friends over the years, people who we have been close to. We wouldn't trust them people.
Right.
We wouldn't trust them. Right. Does that make them any less family? Does it make them any less that we care about them? No. But the fact of the matter is, when push comes to shove, you know that you might not want to run with this cat because you might not make it home that night.
Right.
We know that. That's a judgment. You are passing a judgment, but you're not passing a judgment on a preconceived notion per se. You are basically passing this judgment on actions. You're basically what they have shown you on a consistent basis is how you've made your judgment.
Yeah. Definitely, man. I appreciate that, Ant. What about 84? 84 is still at Rico's.
All right, I'm back. What was the question?
The question is, do you think Jesus was able to recognize things in people just by watching how they moved and getting the energy off of them? Do you think that it's possible for us as human beings to be able to do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That does take us being in tune with ourselves. You know what I mean? Struggle streaming. Oh no. Okay, I'm back. My bad. I struggle streaming. That does take us to be in tune with ourselves. You know what I mean, spiritually, and also in tune with God. So that's the only way we're gonna be able to do that. If not, then you won't be able to see certain things. You know what I mean? Because God will give you that vision. He'll give you that intellect, that knowledge, and that wisdom, and that love to be able to see a situation and be able to diagnose it and be able to help it. But if you're not in tune, then yeah, you all over the place. So how can you really be able to help somebody else? You feel what I'm saying? So that's just the natural facts of it. But yeah, I'll land there.
All right, right on. All right, I'm gonna this one time I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let Bolo go before me. Oh no, let's let Vaughn go. Let's let Vaughn then Bolo.
BB.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, what's up, Vaughn?
Man, what a deep panel today.
we
You guys are
got
getting it in, man. You're getting
we,
it in.
we got the heavy hitters. We got
I
the heavy
see.
hitters over here, man.
I
Ain't
see.
nobody playing no games,
See.
man. We don't play no shorts over here. All right, Vaughn. Do you think you're familiar with the fact that Jesus had whatever you called it, an intuition or a inclination to kind of feel people and feel their energy and see what they were about and see what their real intentions were. We all agree on that. Okay, so my question to you is, do you think that we as human beings would be able to do the same things? Be able to develop that kind of intuition or power or whatever.
Yeah, you mean as far as discernment? Is that what we're talking about?
That's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that we could, we're definitely capable of discernment, and usually we're better at it, when we have the Holy Spirit, because
Agreed.
The Holy Spirit is a revealer, and he reveals things. He pulls the cover off of things. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's kind of like the Holy Ghost will give you some type of X-ray vision. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know we call that a superpower. But sometimes the Holy Spirit will allow you to see beneath the thing instead of what's on the surface. So yeah, I think the way that we do that, and I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Brother Ant or Bolo. But we do that because we look at the fruit that the person is bearing. You see, we are known by our fruits.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it has feather, if water rolls off its back, then come on. We can discern that that's a duck. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
So hopefully I answered the question.
You answered it, because we're gonna get into Genesis 19 in just a minute, but I want myself and Bolo to answer the pressing question right now. Brother Bolo.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that we can develop that discernment as Jesus had about the people around him? Do you think we, as not as connected to God, connected to God, as connected, can we do the same?
Oh, the short answer of it is absolutely.
Okay.
Right? Maybe not as good as Christ was, but absolutely. I'm just going to add to what everyone else said. The problem, well, first, it's through discernment of Christ, being tapped into him. And he gives you, the Holy Spirit, as Von Bryant said, and as Big Ant said, and Mr. Best and everybody, right?
Right.
The problem is our willingness to submit to what is being shown to us.
Okay.
That's our problem. A lot of the times what's being shown to us, we fight, because I might care for this brother a little bit, more than the actual brother, and what's being shown to me, the Lord might be saying that he's not good for you. Leave his brother alone. And because of the attachment, we grew up together, I override that thought process. And then, I go through so much before I actually start listening to the Holy Spirit and say, I got to separate myself. So a lot of the times it's not the discernment. The discernment is there. A lot of times we override it with our attachment, our emotions, and things of that nature. So I just wanted to bring that perspective. So
yeah, that's definitely true.
See, and my answer was short. You see, wasn't that long?
Every once in a while we get a curveball, y'all. Every once in a while, right? We get a curveball. We like, what happened? Don't worry. I got faith in Bolo. I got faith. I ain't lost the faith. We're gonna get somewhere where my casserole is gonna burn. All right. My answer quickly is yes. I think we can we can develop that, and we need to develop that, even though this world says no, right? Because it's so wicked. They want you to trust them, but to get you to trust them, they got to get you to trust everybody. So they say, no, just trust everybody. And only a foolish person would do that, because you can't trust everybody with your family, with your money, with your house, you can't trust everybody, man, because everybody's not looking at it like you, and you don't know their real motives, right? And some people, they try to act like, oh man, this was so sad, man. I was watching this dude, right? And I like these little murder mysteries and, mysteries where people get caught up. So I try to find out where they went wrong, right? But anyway, so this dude, the police picked him up because he was working at a Domino's Pizza, and he was an offender, right? And he was working at Domino's, and so he tried to step to one of the girls, and the girl kept telling him no. And finally, she said, "I'm gonna go to the cops," and he quit, right? Because she had went out with him before, and it was a bad experience. So he was trying to go out with her again. She was like, no, man, you wow. And so he kept doing it. So finally, she had to get the cops involved, right? But then, come to find out, he had went to a little girl's house. Now, this is, man, I'm telling y'all, all of us have to do this, man. We all have to do this. If we have little girls or little boys, we have to role play with them on what they're gonna do if somebody stepped to them crazy, right? So this dude, he had delivered pizzas to this house twice, and he had met this little girl at this same house. It was one of the places where the parents ain't never there, right? So anyway, he was there, and the second time he went there delivering pizzas for Domino's, he had asked the little girl for a hug. Now, it's a 30-something-year-old man asking a little baby to answer the door for a hug. The baby hugged him, right? And then she was feeling funny about it, but she did it anyway. Then the man came a third time after he wasn't working for Domino's no more. He went up to her house and said, "Oh, you know what?" He's talking to her on the front porch, and then he said, "Oh, I need to use the bathroom. Can you let me use the bathroom?" Now, her response was, "Oh, yeah, sure. Hold on one second. Let me make sure nobody's in there." She was smart. She locked the door, right? She said he was acting kind of weird anyway, right? So she just said, yeah, let me go check, make sure nobody's in there. And she closed the door and locked it, right? So this dude was banging on the door trying to get in the house because he felt that the little girl was by herself. She called the cops. Cops got involved with that situation. Anyway, that was before he got he quit Domino's. Anyway, so a third time he went over to the little girl's house. Oh, I told you guys he tried to use the bathroom, right? So the police picked him up on all this other stuff. Plus, he had some other stuff going on. And so he was out there. This dude was out there. I mean, I can't. It's hard to even say. He was trying to start a babysitting service. This is an offender. He was trying to start a babysitting service out there, right? And he was willing to. He had got some people that was actually interested in that, right? Well, my point is, see, we don't know what people's real intentions is, right? So he's thinking, oh, there's nobody in the neighborhood that watches kids. I can watch these kids. I ain't doing nothing but sitting in the house smoking weed. I can watch these kids. And some of the parents so hard up and desperate, they like, yeah, they considering the guy. So we gotta have some discernment over what we doing, y'all. But yes, I think we can develop the discernment and get it. I'm not saying we can get it better than Jesus, but we can get it. We can get it coming up that way, right? All right, y'all. This is what I want to do. We have somebody who I consider a buster in Genesis 19. So we're gonna read Genesis 19. Okay, we're gonna find the buster. Find the buster. All right. You guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I got my feet up, so I'm ready.
All right, man. Hey, any of you guys want to stop me at any point and break something down? Bowler, you know this already. And you might not know this, but anytime you say, "Hey, look, Clarence, wait, back that up. Let's go over that." You got free open hand, brother. Open hand. Same thing with you, Mr. Best. See, I read something you say, wait, Clarence, that don't make no sense to me. Let's go back over that. We'll do it. You got the group here that can do it because Vaughn knows already.
Absolutely.
But you got the group here that can do it. All right, so this is Genesis 19. We're gonna find the buster. Okay, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. What y'all doing here? It's about to go down, Lot. it's about to go down. Right? And he bowed himself in the face toward the ground. And he said, "Behold, now my lords, turn in, I pray to you, in your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways." We're not going on our way. And they said, "Nay, but we will abide in the street all night, because we want to check things out. We want to see for ourselves how they getting down over here." And he pressed upon them greatly, right? I say, no, you don't. You don't want to see what's going on. Come on in the house, right? Because they got a little what do you call that, welcoming party that's gonna come and meet you, man. You sitting out there. And they turned in unto him and entered the house, and he made them a feast and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round. I mean, it surrounded the house, right? Both old and young. Even the old dudes. All the people from every quarter. Yikes. Yikes. And they called out unto Lot and said unto him, "Where are the men which came into thee this night?" Hey, man, what them dudes that we saw going in your house? What's up? We need to have a look at them. Bring them out to us that we may know them. Uh-oh. You may know them? Yikes. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after himself, and said, "I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly," right? Stop. Hey, man, hold tight. Man, these dudes ain't the ones.
Yeah,
These ain't the ones.
keep in mind, Brother Clarence.
Right? I'm the great, what do I call myself?
These
Paraphraser. I'm the great paraphraser.
So, to kind of paraphrase it, two dudes coming to this town.
Thank you, Bubba.
Which are angels. They don't know that these are two men, but Lot knew. But they go into the crib, and he begs them, dude, come in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have the angel of the Lord stay out here, whatever. So he convinced them to come in. Right. So they surround the house, both old and young, right? So as they come out, and they're talking about knowing these two men that came in, because these ain't dudes we've normally seen. Right. So that means they probably had a lookout. Someone probably rang a bell and said, "Hey, there's two new dudes in town, son."
You see, we had to win in a Lot's place. Man.
So he don't want them to hear the conversation, so he comes out and closes the door behind him. When he says, "And Lot went out the door unto them and shut the door after him," so he closes the door behind him to come out like, "Yo, dude, y'all really don't understand what y'all dealing with." Chill. Go ahead, brother. You go.
Thank you for catching us up, brother. All right, so Lot went out the door to shut the door after him. He said, "Hey, man, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly." Hey, man, chill. Ain't that how they say it in NYC? Chill. These ain't the dudes. These ain't the ones. I'm telling you. Behold, now, I have two daughters. Ooh. I said, I got two daughters. I got 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Now, here's where, and Big Ant might want to jump in on this one.
Yeah, because that's a problem right there. But go ahead.
Any one of y'all.
This is where that woman, Princella, came out, that pastor, and he brought this scripture. She brought this scripture out, this verse, to try and show that women are just used willy-nilly to do whatever they want with. So she said that this father just tried to give his daughter to these men. And scholars will tell you, particularly when it comes to verse 8, they knew what type of man Lot was. The town knew what type of man Lot was. And they knew that he cared for his daughters, excuse me. So what Lot was trying to do is show them that, listen, these 2 girls that I care about and that I love, I'm willing to give them to you to deter you from dealing with the madness that you guys are trying to get involved in.
Good point.
So it was kind of a ploy to show them, like, you know how much I care for my babies. You know how much. And I'm trying to show you that I'd rather give them to you than for you to do what you're about to do to these guys. In other words, I'm trying to save you from the madness that you guys are trying to commit. And through this action that I'm doing, I want you to see the love that I'm showing to you by trying to give you the sacrifice of my daughters. So that's the perspective that people really don't catch when you read that scripture, that verse. So I don't know if Big Brother want to jump in on that too, because I know him and I had a big problem with that pastor didn't open up and show.
Yeah. So, wow. All right. So this whole thing, we can take it back. We can take it back a notch in this passage that you have there in Genesis 19. So here's the deal. So first of all, you got to remember, you have to go back, and I'm sorry I have to do this a little bit so that everyone can kind of have a context of where we're at with this thing.
You're good.
All right. So early on, if you remember, there was a dispute between Abraham and his folks, Lot, right? And they split up. Both their stuff had gotten too big, and he gave Lot the choice of where Lot wanted to go. He said Lot looks over and sees the area of Sodom that has a lot of grass and everything, all that stuff, right? And he chose that area there to go to. Now, here's the deal. Abraham had already dealt with Sodom previously. Okay. Remember, he went out that way and had already saved Lot, who had went out that way, right after, not too long after this happened, because they had to fight some kings that came out of the east, and the people, the leaders and stuff of the whole area of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were fighting against this army, against this other people. So now you see Lot, and it says he's in the gate of the city when these guys come. So to be in the gate of the city means that you have some type of pull, that you are sitting in a position of leadership, because only the elders sat in that area. So whether it was out of response to the riches that Lot had, because at first Lot didn't live in Sodom. Lot was outside of Sodom. But eventually Lot winds up being in Sodom. And he's in there. Now, be it the pull that Abraham did, saving the people and everything else, got him kind of like a little, space of respect and everything else. It's a possibility. Scripture doesn't get into that. Right. But when those guys came in, here's a kicker. Righteous recognize righteous.
Right.
He did not see those guys as just 2 dudes coming into town. He recognized who those guys were. He recognized what kind of, he might have not known that they were angels, but he knew that this wasn't the same type of folks. Well, how do you know that? Because he was around when Abraham was talking to God. He was around. He knew about the God of Abraham. In many ways, he worshiped the God of Abraham. So he was not clueless about who these guys were when they came in. Now, other little side note. The thing was about Sodom, when God tells Abraham about the wickedness of Sodom going up to heaven, this was known. Okay. Scripture, the scholars of today who have done many a look-see into exactly what was going on in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah and everything else. One of the things, and you can pick up some of these things out of I believe it's like the book of Jasher, and also I believe there's passages in the book of Jubilee as well, for just those who want to do some casual reading. But also historically, there were talks in this regards as well. Hebrew scholars have written books about what caused the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And here's the deal. When they talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, it was Sodom, Gomorrah, and there were about 3 other towns in there, or 4 other towns in there. One was Zor, and then they name them in the scripture, but there's 3 others. So it's like think of it like a modern day metroplex, right? A modern day huge, like New York City is. You start getting out the 5 boroughs, right? When you start thinking about New York, right? When you start thinking about places like, Atlanta, right? People can tell you all the areas around Atlanta, right? Miami, same thing. They can tell you all the area. It's still considered Miami, but that's like 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 different cities, right? See what I'm saying? So basically, think of it. The closest I can pinpoint that whole aspect would be Dallas and Fort Worth, and there's a bunch of cities in between Dallas and Fort Worth and all around it. But the 2 major cities are Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas.
Right.
You see what I mean? One is bigger than the other. Right. So that whole area there was wicked. The whole thing.
Right.
And one of the things they were known for was people would come into town to trade. They would come into town to buy things. They would come in there to trade. And what they would do is no one would put them up. No one would put them up. All of a sudden, if they were brand new, all of the inns were full. There was no place to stay. And the people were forced to stay outside around by the fountains and stuff like that. Well, they would then get jumped. They would get beat up. They would get accused of stuff and by the people. And those people would then be put in prison. And their stuff would be confiscated and everything else and divvied up and all this other stuff. And they'll get, depending on what it is, they might get killed. They might die in jail. I mean, it was as corrupt could be. It was evil, right? And some of the stuff they would do is, if it was men that were by themselves, young men that were by themselves, well, they got touched. Let's just put it like that. They got touched. Right? They came up missing and they got touched. And then they would be found either dead or they would be found outside the city with their stuff gone. So they were a very wicked place, right? So when Lot sees these guys come in and knows what the guys say they're going to do, what did they say they were going to do?
They want to know them.
No. What did the guys, when they first come into town, what did they say they were going to do?
You mean the angels?
Yeah. What did the angels say they were going to do when they first got there?
Let's see. Let's take a look, man. They said they were going to just sleep out on the street, right?
That's right. They
okay.
It wasn't. Here's the deal. It wasn't like they were sleeping out in the middle of the street. They were gonna sleep out in the area where it would basically, you would see like a bunch of caravans and stuff where they would tie up the animals and everything else, because the angels already knew no one was going to open their house up to them. So they like, oh, we cool. We just staying out here for the night. And then it says what? But he insisted strongly that they turn and enter his house. He's like, no, no, no. And he even lays it out for him. He says what? Because notice the whole pomp and circumstances shows you how Lot recognized it. He said when Lot saw them at verse 1, because it was evening time when they came to the city, and Lot was at the gate, which was again a position of authority. He was considered one of the. He wasn't a night watchman. He wasn't a security guard. People that sat at the gate area was considered to be like, they would be like judges of the city to pass judgment on certain things, disputes and stuff like that. So that's why he was sitting there. He saw him, and he said he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. At that point in time, people only did that with people that they truly respected, that they were like honored, like, oh, this is somebody, this it would be no different for us today if, you know, president came to your town or whatever else, and you were supposed to greet the president. It's not that you would bow your face, but you would give some respect to the president, right? Stuff like that. But, and this was kind of on that same break. And then he said, he saw what was happening. And he said, "Hear now, my lords, please turn into your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet." That was a sign of hospitality. He said, and then you may rise early and go on your way. In other words, you can stay the night, but you need to get out. You need to make sure that you leave early.
Right.
And when he said you rise early, what he's trying to convey to them is that when the gate, because the gates get shut down at night for protection, what he's telling them is you can leave early when they first raise the gates up. You can hurry up and get out. They like, no, we cool. We're gonna spend the night in the square.
Yeah.
And he said what? He insisted strongly. So they basically said, okay, man. He's like, yeah, we knew we were gonna stay there anyway, but you know, we wanted to see it's that test to see where Lot's heart really was. And Lot knew, right? So they went to his house. He made them a feast, which you only did for people of high esteem.
Right.
Not that you wouldn't feed anybody else, but with high esteem, a feast. And then he baked unleavened bread and they ate. Right. In other words, unleavened bread was a meal, was a bread that was done. It was a quick bread. So that you would have bread with your meal, but you didn't have to wait all day for it to rise and everything else like that. Basically, he made the equivalent of like some pita bread or some tortillas or something. Right. Very quick. And look what it said. And now before they lay down, during this time, in this area here, this wasn't I'm staying up past midnight type thing. Okay. This is not this. It's not midnight, 1 o'clock a.m. to it. No. Shut down time in this area here, because of the type of work that was done in this area and everything else. You were looking at a shutdown probably around what we probably consider right at dusk, right at dark. Okay. So you're talking about probably about like a little 8 p.m., 9 p.m. type thing. Right. And so that was them. And that's before it said before they even laid down. It said not some guys surrounded the house. It said what? The men of the city.
Yeah, all of them.
Both old and young.
Wow.
All the people from every quarter. So in other words, this wasn't 5 people out there.
Right.
This wasn't 10 people out there. This wasn't 20 people out there. We're looking at probably close. And this is to show you how much we're talking about the wickedness, right? We're talking about the wickedness of this. They estimated that the people who lived in Sodom, that lived in the city of Sodom at the time, was probably close to about 2,000 people. Okay. Well, 2,000 men, not counting women and children. Right. So you had about 2,000 people surround this house. So in other words, it would have been 2,000 guys coming after who? Those 2 guys that showed up in the town that went to Lot's house.
Yikes. All right,
So
y'all.
when you start and people read this and they don't sit back and understand that this context about what we're talking about, right? So you're talking about 2K, not NBA 2K. Well, you know, 2K people, dudes, because it said so. When it says old and young, we're talking about at least late teenage years, because during that time, manhood and what was required of men, we're talking about 13, 14. Jokers had already started looking into marriage, building houses and stuff like that, and establishing themselves, right?
Okay.
So you're probably looking about late teens up to guys in their 50s, 60s, bruh. Surrounded the house.
Knowing.
So when people started talking about, well, it wasn't homosexuality why God destroyed Sodom. It wasn't because of it.
Okay.
No. It was literally the wickedness of Sodom. It's not the one thing. It was all of it.
Right.
It was the whole 9 yards, man. It was the whole 9 yards. We're talking about the murder, the grapes, the whole, you name it. You think of any deviant act and anything that could come down the pipe. That's what this was.
Yeah. All right, man.
And now you go with that.
Did you land?
I landed and the wheels squeaked a little bit on the runway. There you go.
I told y'all, man. You never know, man. You never know. You never know which one is gonna go the longest, right? Did you have something to say, Vaughn?
Yeah, can you show 8 again?
I
know you scrolled up past it.
Yeah, because I was gonna move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Growing up, I always had a problem with this particular passage. And God knows I truly appreciate the way that Brother Ant and Brother Bolo broke it down. And with my open mind, I can actually see it through their eyes, the way God has given them the interpretation of this scripture. But what I will say is it doesn't settle well with me that he was willing to give up his daughters to these deviants. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know what Lot did, but me personally, I would have never offered my daughters. I would have been cutting ears off like Peter. No. But I do adjure you by the name of God that you change your mind, lest a worse thing fall upon you. Hey, I would come at you that way, but I'm not going to offer you my daughters. You know what I'm saying? But I do get the explanation, and I received the interpretation of how God opened that up to these two brothers, But that's what Lot did. And apparently it was for a purpose and it was for a reason. Absolutely. Me personally, if I was to put myself in those shoes, I just wouldn't offer up my daughters. And that's just, that's my twist on it.
Do you think, let me ask you a question, Juan. Do you think that he had such faith in God that no matter what his daughters went through, that God would pull them through, even though he was offering them?
I would just have to say, God did what he did do. If you look at verse 9, and as we continue on, we see what was the fate of those fallen angels, because they couldn't have been angels of the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And could we assume that? Could we say that, gentlemen?
We can say whatever we want to say.
You lost me on that one, Vaughn.
You lost me. What are you talking about? Fallen angels.
Okay. So these two individuals that you were saying, hey, have the men come out to me. Remember, you mentioned earlier that he didn't know that they were angels.
Right.
No, I said that I said that he knew who they were.
Yeah, he knew what they were.
Yeah, he knew who they were.
Yeah.
Okay. And so were these angels of the Lord, or were these fallen angels? That's my question.
Oh no, these were angels of the Lord.
Angels of
They
God.
were coming to pass. They were the ones coming to like destroy that place.
Right.
But God was giving them God was like, the cry of your wickedness have gone up there. Let's see how wicked how wicked are you really?
Absolutely.
You know, it's kind of one of those things.
So let me
Here's your rope to hang yourself.
Okay.
Hang yourself.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but it's always good to get an understanding. But
no worries.
So the individuals who said, "Hey, have these men come out to us that we may know them," were those angels of the Lord?
Oh no, those
no. Those
men
are
of the city.
Those are people. So what?
Okay,
so
those were people.
Give you clarity. Two angels.
Okay, got it.
Came as men. They came as men, and like Big Ant said, you know, cats that usually had high esteem would sit at the gate. You know what I'm saying? Because they kept guard at who came into the gate and who left. Right. So that's why they would sit there. So he knew what they were. That's why he begged them to come stay in the house. Come stay in the house. I'm not going to have the Lord stay outside. So when they came in, these dudes only saw men because they were so caught up in their sin. They didn't have that discernment.
Got it.
So it's the same. What he did in the aspect of giving his daughters to these guys was the same thing when Moses says, when the Lord told Moses, "I'm gonna make a kingdom out of you. I'm gonna make a whole nation out of you," and he said, "No, Lord, not at all, not at all." The Lord wanted to check his spirit, same way he did with what he did with Abraham.
But let me
sacrifice your son to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the spirit of the sacrifice of how far he knew that these dudes didn't want his daughter. He knew that. But he's hoping that they can see the sacrifice. They didn't want the smoke with what was behind that door. He's hoping by me giving you my daughter's dogs, you will kind of kick in and kind of figure out that there's something going else in the house that you don't want to deal with. But they didn't tap into that because they were so caught up into their depravity, their wickedness, that they was like, man, give us the dudes that's inside. We want to have sex with them because that's what no means. We want to sleep with them, period. Let's just call it what it is. That's why he said, my daughters have not known no man. So that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to sleep with these two angels, and they surrounded the house. And he knew what they were. That's why he was saying, you don't want this.
I get that part now. I get that part. But my question is,
the
deviants who he was offering his daughter to, that's the problem that I have with the passage. Do you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
I'm just saying, me personally, Bolo, I'm not going to offer my daughters to deviants. I'm just not going to do that. But nevertheless, this is a story, and this is how God designed it. You know, I believe that a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord. You see, like I said again, I appreciate the interpretation of the scripture. You know, but I've always had a problem with him offering up his daughters to deviants.
Right, absolutely. Anybody would. But when you look at the spirit in which he's doing it in, you understand the perspective that he's coming from. He knew that these dudes didn't want his daughter. They wanted dudes. But like Big Ant said, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was bigger than just the sodomy that they wanted to do to these guys. However, in this perspective right here, what he's facing with outside of his door, these dudes didn't want his daughter. That's why they specifically said, give us the men. And he was like, well, I'll give you my daughters, dog. But I pray that you don't want what's in there, bro. Believe me, you don't. Please.
And now I'm just looking at it in terms of if it was me.
You're looking at it from a father's perspective.
Yeah, I just would have said simply, listen, dude, you don't want what's on the other side of this door.
Wow.
You know, I adjure you by the mercies of God that you back it up, because see, if you come a little closer, something worse is going to befall you.
But you know what that also shows you, though? It shows you the love that he had for the people, though.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you could offer yourself Well, I'm giving you what's most precious to me.
It's just
And
I just would not offer my child.
well, hold on, Vaughn. So keep in
No, no,
mind,
no. I'm just speaking from a humanistic standpoint.
right.
You know, as just being normal myself.
Right. What I
Yeah.
want you to understand too is, so let's we have to be in the context of the area where they were at that time.
That's a good point.
Right. We know how we feel right now, right? And I'm pretty certain he felt that way too. But let's put this into the context. Unmarried, you got to remember how it was and how the culture is at that time, and even to this day in certain areas of the world, the culture is still like that, right? But back during that time, he said, I will give you my daughters who have not known a man." So they were virgins, right? So now, if you remember how this all works, when when a man married off his daughter, you're creating a covenant with another family. They are some of the most valued pieces in a man's family. Right. So he's not just throwing, this is not something that he's just throwing to the wind. Remember, I laid it out about who he was in that town for the simple fact to set that background that he was not a nobody. They knew who Lot was. Hence, that's one of the reasons why they went to his house. They knew who Lot was. They knew what kind of pull he had in the city. At this point in time, it didn't mean anything. But the fact that he's saying, I will give you basically the two prized treasures in my house that would be worth technically on the open market. If I was to marry to any other family that's in this city or whatever else, it would be, for lack of a better term, a gold mine, because now she would be married into my family. You would be married into my family, and my family would be married into your family. And what we would have is this covenant relationship that's been established of the marrying of two houses, right? He basically bypassed all that and said, I'm willing to give you my two daughters who haven't known a man based on that's on me as something. Just don't do this wickedness, guys. Don't. And as hard as that is for us to hear, during that time, that was a major sacrifice. This was a major sacrifice, like Bolo mentioned earlier, based on the culture of that time. He was basically giving his daughters to be worthless now. They would brought him nothing at all. But he was willing to, so that they would not, like Bolo said, you don't want the smoke that's behind his door with these guys. You will die. You will get eviscerated. Just take my daughters and leave. Just do that. I'm basically, I'm trying to save us all because I don't want none of us to die. Right. And when they said what they said, they signed their proverbial death warrants. They literally did, because now it wasn't about what was said of them. They witnessed against themselves. They basically did their own first 48, minus the cigarettes and and the Coke and the Coca-Cola. They literally did. And that's why you see what happens right after that. Right after that, looking straight at it. And it says what? And they said, stand back. And then they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we will deal with you worse with you than with them. And it says they pressed upon the man, they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near, because they were going to break the door down to get in. They were going to do the same to Lot that they were going to do worse to Lot than what they were going to do to the angels that were in the house. The two men they didn't know were angels in the house. And I want to make a point that everyone should understand. This is what evil tries to do to righteousness all the time, all day, every day. And especially when it comes in great number, this is what it tries to do. It seeks to utterly destroy everything that is righteous. But what winds up happening for the most part is that God shows himself and ends all of the foolishness.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, great discussion. Can I get to the end of the chapter?
Yeah. I just wanted to make a quick statement if I could, Brother Clarence.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, this is why we study the word. This is why we go over it again. You know, because you may think you have it the first time, but then when you open it up again, God will reveal something else concerning his word. You see what I'm saying? So the word of God is very inherent. You know what I'm saying? So it basically, it takes more than just one read. You know, if I could just say that. Because when you go back and look at it again, you say, okay, wow, I didn't see that part, or now I get it. I get it a little bit better now.
Yeah.
You know? So this is the purpose of these conversations, is to bring understanding and being able to rightfully divide the truth. And so for that, gentlemen, I'm very appreciative.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
All right, let's get moving, y'all. Let's get moving. Let's see. We're on 9. And they said, stand back. And again they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And he pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. Yikes. There's going, like Anthony said, there's going to unleash hell on them, right? But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door, right? The angel's like, come on, man, come on in here. Boom, they got him in. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they weaned themselves to find the door, right? I don't know what they do. Did they do mo? Wing! You put the 2 fingers in their eyes or something, right? Remember the 3 Stooges? Whoop! What did they do? Or did they just pull the eyes out, right? Your eyes are nothing. Your eyes are just on a string, right? You can literally put your fingers in somebody's eye, put a little force, and the eyeball will come out, right? But we don't know what he did. We don't know what they did.
That blindness matches their morality also. That physical blindness matches their blindness to morality also.
And on another note to that portion, that both small and great, that meant there were people there of major influence, and that was just the guy, the dude that lived next door, the dude that just didn't have much of a title. They were all there. Ugh.
Right. So he got the angels got the party moving, right? And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, right? Yeah, but the wicked ones, and we ain't got to the buster yet, but the wicked ones was like, nah, we ain't going. Even if our eyes are busted, we ain't going nowhere till we see these men, till we have relations with these men. For we will destroy this place. There's willing to destroy the man's house just to get to those men. Because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So scratch that. This is the angels talking now, right? They tell a lot, man. You ain't got to worry about nothing, man.
Yes,
these people,
the angels.
These people ain't even you know what I'm saying? Anything you got on the calendar for them for next week, just scratch it off, right? Better go to the dentist now. All right, so they basically tell a lot, hey man, this is our mission. We ain't just passing through. All right. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law, right? Sons-in-law, like, what are you talking about, man? Lot, come on, man. Ain't nobody gonna destroy the city. We good.
Keep it and real quick, just for a little context. The ones that where he said his sons-in-law, those were the ones his daughters were actually
Supposed
set
to marry.
Right?
technically, the everything has taken place during that time. What they would do is they would set up the betrothal, and when the betrothal was set up, even they were considered to be married at that time. But
even though they hadn't had the ceremony yet,
even though the ceremony hasn't happened and everything else, and those guys were
because they betrothed, they
right.
consider
They were supposed to be.
I got you.
So they were supposed to have been building houses for themselves, either off of their parents' house or to a piece of land on their own. And they were supposed to then, once they would have the ceremony, and then they would take their bride and move into their new place of dwelling. So until that was done, but now if you notice, he's saying what? He tried to get them out of there too. They wasn't listening. They wasn't about that life.
We good. All right. And when the morning arose, who's that? Who? Okay. And when the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise. Okay, here come the instructions, y'all. You know, sometimes we get instructions, right, from God, very clear, very precise, and we still don't listen, right? Luckily, Lot listened. Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. Lot, take your wife and your family and hit the road, Jack, and don't never come back, because this place is gonna be what do you call that, a cauldron of smoke by afternoon time, right?
Time to go. Gotta get out.
Gotta get out. And while he lingered, right, Lot lingered, right, the men laid hold upon his hand and upon his wife. Because Lot is what do you call that? Grieving. He knows there's kids there. There's women there. There's people that are not with, they're not active in the whole wickedness, but they are participant in how things go, and they being groomed to be, in that type of environment, right? So Lot is grieving, right? He's like, man, I want to see the whole city gone. Angels are like, look, man, I'm telling you, bounce now while you got a chance, right? And you lucky you got that warning, right? And it came to pass when they brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. Okay, so now they tell him, hey, look, man, I know you thought it was going to be bad. It's going to be worse than bad. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse than bad. He said, it's going to be so bad, don't even look back. Don't even look back. Just, and don't stay in the plains. But the mountains are far away. Yeah, I know. That's why you need to get started now, Lot. Hey. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord, right? He's like, what? I know that we could save somebody up in here. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life, and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die, right? So now Lot is like, hey, man, I'm an old man. I ain't going to make it all the way over there to the mountains. Okay, so they said, behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. It is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said unto And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Right? Yeah, you let me hustle on over here. I ain't gonna try to be the man. I'm just gonna, have my little farm or whatever, right? Haste thee, escape thither, right? Now they getting a little, now the angels getting a little uptight, man. They like, hey, look, we trying to tell you, man, you need to get your ish together and get up out of here. Because soon as you get out them gates, me and my man gonna get to work. You holding us up. You putting us on some Negro time here. Hey, haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become hither. Thither. Bolo, thither. Say that. All right, so haste thee, escape thee thither, for I cannot do that, and then come thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zor. All right, T-Biz was right. I guess there's a time for everything, right? All right. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zor. Okay, so Lot listened, and he was up on it, right? Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Yikes. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. Damn, burned it all down. But his wife looked from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Okay? What does that mean, y'all? What does that mean? They was told not to look back, and she looked back and became a pillar of salt. What does that mean, y'all?
She turned into a salt pillar. She was a salt lick for deers. Anyone that came down that way needed to sprinkle a little salt on it.
Maybe they could have said, ooh, they could have used it down the Sodom and Gomorrah, a little salt.
Hey. They said, man,
Yeah.
not too long.
The Lord judges you in your heart. And she was turned to a pillar of salt because of her heart. But her heart likely showed a love for Sodom and Gomorrah and regret she was no longer there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, the Lord looks at your spirit. Your heart represents your spirit, right? So that's where her spirit was. Her spirit wanted to be in Sodom and Gomorrah. So
Lord said, you salty? All right, cool.
And, it kind of reminds me of that scripture that says, any man that, puts his hand to the plow looking back, is not fit for the kingdom. Could we relate that scripture to that situation right there? Or what do you gentlemen think?
Say it again.
Well, I believe there's a scripture that says any man putting his hand to the plow and looking back is not fit for the kingdom. Have you ever heard that before? All right.
Yeah, that was Jesus talking to some people that were talking about was saying that they wanted to follow him, but they needed to go take care of like some stuff
and
for their family first and stuff like that. Yeah. And basically he's telling them either you following me or you're not following me.
Right.
So anything that's greater than me, right, is basically that's your God. That's who you want to really follow. That's what's more important to you. And so in a way, yeah, you can kind of see it that way.
Yeah.
But I would go along the lines of, I don't think she ever had I would go under the line where she never really had a heart for God. She loved Sodom. And like you said a few minutes ago, because that's what she was and that's what she loved, right? Okay, fine. You now get to suffer the consequence of of God's judgment, because he literally said, don't look back.
Of looking back, right?
You go,
Yeah,
you
it
go.
just brought that scripture to mind when just that looking back part, and that you're not fit for the kingdom. So I kind of related to, but
Well, yeah,
but
when you know, the Lord also says that in Luke 17:31, right? When he says, "In that day, he who is in the housetop and has his goods are in the house. Let him not come down to take them away. And likewise, the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever seeks to save his life loses, and whoever loses life will preserve it."
Okay, so I can relate those two then.
He was looking at it backward, right? If you lose your life, you save it. If you save it, if you lose it. She was in regret of what her life was.
Right. I get it. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we got more to cover. Y'all thought we found our hypocrite. We found our hypocrite. All right. Because she was told not to look back, and she looked back anyway, right? Let's see. Here we go.
But are you really a hypocrite if you doing what you love?
No, here's the thing. You're a hypocrite if you are leading people to believe that you're not doing that, but you actually are. That's a hypocrite.
That is true.
You're just a demon. If you're doing what you want to do, you're just a demon.
Well, again, she knew so here's where I'm at with this. I believe she loved the status that she had in Sodom.
Agreed.
I believe that she loved everything that was in Sodom and the luxuries of Sodom, right?
Agreed.
To the point that even she cared for that more than she cared for her own family.
Agreed.
Her daughters were there. Her husband was there. But her heart was still where?
Sodom. Yep.
So she got, so as the saying goes, she died doing what she loved. She really did. She died doing what she loved. So I don't see it as being hypocritical outside of the fact, now you could say it's being hypocritical, but if you say I love my family above anything else, but your heart is in Sodom, then yeah. But
well, I mean, what you think, Aunt? I mean, she was like, nah, she wasn't like, nah, I'm staying. She was like, I'm going on.
I don't think she had a choice.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that this was not a choice. Remember, the angels grabbed. We think of these things in modern Western context here, but as there was a whole structure when it came down to families at that time. You follow the husband regardless of where it led. That was the culture of that time. You followed the husband regardless of where it led. So when you look at it and everything else, it said that the angels, you go back up on that passage, and it tells you how the angels grabbed her hand. He didn't say, "Hey, you want to come? Are you coming too?" It was never asked. The question was never asked. They struck those guys blind and then grabbed the daughter's hands and the wife and Lot's hands and pulled them along. Said, "Let's go."
Okay.
Look at it. So it wasn't because it was the two become one. We are saving you because you are one with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
You gone too.
You're under his cover.
Doesn't mean that her heart was not still there.
Right.
And that's the problem with running through these scriptures. When you don't give it time to breathe, you know what I'm saying? To understand the context and the environment that they were under.
Yeah.
She understands, saying the angels are about to lay some drama. They're about to lay smoke. So she understands the severity of what's going on just from the conversation that they, began said. The angels grab her, the daughters grab him and say, yo, Duke, you got to go. Well, I don't have enough time. Well, Duke, we're going to give you time. Hurry up and bounce. Go. So,
And also it shows how important obedience is. You know what I'm saying? That God looks at obedience. If he says don't look left and don't look right, he means exactly what he said. If he says don't turn around and look back, and then we do that, see, we're being disobedient because those were not the instructions that we were given. But I do understand what you're saying when you say that, her heart was basically toward Sodom.
yeah, but that's what the scripture says, right? Christ said,
Exactly.
there are many that honor me with their mouth, but their hearts are far from me.
Exactly. So she was basically going through the motions,
Right.
but basically her heart was still there.
Absolutely.
Maybe she found some fun there. Maybe it was something there that became a stronghold to her that she didn't want to let go.
Yeah.
We don't know. But
Yeah.
the point is, anytime God points you in a direction and says, go forward and don't look back, and then you turn back, looking back, then that shows you, see, he's saying you're not fit for the kingdom now. And so that was the situation with her. She turned into a pillar of salt.
Well, my thing was, so Clarence, why you call her a hypocrite? Because like I kind of see it from what you say, but I think, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think she still had a choice, because what would have happened to her if she didn't go with her husband?
She would have
But
died.
she did make her choice. When
Yeah,
she
but,
turned.
but what I'm saying is, let's say, like, you guys are making a good point that she had no real mainline alternative than going with her husband wherever he went, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if she was really like, what's the word? She could have said, I'm staying. I don't care what happened. If I catch this fade, I catch this fade. Oh well, I'm staying. She could have done that, right?
But no one has a death wish, right?
No. I mean,
unless somebody has a death wish, the average person doesn't have a death wish. Think about it. Think about, to your point. Think about it this way. Hold on, Bo. Think about it this way. We see this happen on movies a lot, right? And sometimes you see it happen in real life on a very, very small stage. But you always see that happen in the movies. There'll be a bank robber.
Okay.
And they'll tell everybody, get on the floor, get in, throw your phones out, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have this one security guard, right, who looked like he hadn't fired a gun in 35 years, right? Hadn't even done anything with the gun outside of put it in the holster that morning, right?
All right.
Right. And you'll see him later knowing he is not the most fit person in the world. He has no military background. He was not a special forces. He was just a dude. Now they telling everybody to stay down. We're gonna get the money and we're gonna run. Right. What do you see the security go? Pulls out his little shaking hand and shaking gun and trying to fire off of it, and he gets blown away.
Right.
What was his choice? He could have stayed down like everybody else and did nothing, let them take the money and run. But yet and still, he decided at that point in time, I am a security guard. I need to protect the money. I'm gonna go ahead and try to be the hero and take this guy out. Right. Now you had a choice, but his heart said, I wanted to play hero today. Instead of just saying, okay, he got the drop on me, blah, 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 blah. I don't have the firepower to take out 4 guys. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna let them take this money, but I'm gonna make sure I study the faces and everything else and how they move and what car they got into and everything else, so I can give information that's needed. That's what you should have done.
Yep.
But you decided you wanted to play. It's the same thing with her. It's the same type of decision. Everything's getting ready to be destroyed. You have angels that you just seen strike somebody blind, and it's pulling you out of pulling you, your daughters, and your husband out. Even told you, run and go get people that you believe will come out with you and go get them. And now, we got to go because at the sunrise, everything's getting mowed down. We got to go. And then next thing you know, y'all running through the streets, running through the gate, out into the plain area, running for this little small town before this stuff starts getting destroyed. And yet and still, you know what's happening. You know what's going to happen. And when you look at that verse, you see that when she got destroyed, when the town got destroyed, she was looking back at what was being destroyed. Why would you go? It's like looking back at the tornado that's knocking out your house. You're not trying to look at no tornado knock down your house. You're trying to hide from the tornado.
Yeah, I get that part.
But let me throw this to a big brother Clarence. Maybe this will help. She didn't have a choice, right? Let's look at it from the perspective with the scriptures. Let's not look at it from where we are. Okay. Let's put ourselves in that predicament. Okay. You got to get everything and get out. Now, you ain't getting no clothes. The life you had is gone. The prestige you had is gone. You got to get out now.
Right.
Okay. Some people are happy with just their family. I got my brothers. I got my wife. I got my children. I'm Gucci. I'm good. I don't need nothing else. Everything I need is here.
Okay.
But let's keep in mind, again, we have to pick the right words because the right words set up the landscape of what we're about to traverse through, right? This is why we say regret. She didn't have the proper time to adjust to her leaving.
Agreed.
This is quick. I gotta bounce.
Agreed.
I'm not used to not having the depravity and all these different things that go on and everything else that happened there.
Right.
So her turning around was the regret because you should have everything that you have, right? As long as you have your wife, your family, your brothers, your sisters, you should be good, right?
Right.
That's what I would think, correct?
Right.
So what would cause you to turn around and look?
That's the question.
The regret that you had, the life that I used to have is gone.
Okay.
And let me show you, God still gave her a chance. He didn't leave her there. She made a choice.
Yeah.
Right? God tells you don't do left.
Yep.
You're going to die. You do left. Who made that choice?
Yeah.
So now we're stuck with, why did you go left? One, like my man Vaughn said, disobedience. Two, because of what my man Big Bro said. Everything else that's going on, you didn't have a chance to relinquish, or you didn't have a chance to say goodbye. You didn't have a chance to say none of these things. You didn't have a chance to get it out of your system. This is something that's happening right now. Go. That dude gets that old security guard gets that regret that he never in his young age got to use his pistol the way he wanted to. So he figures now with these young whippersnappers that are 21, 22 that's robbing his bank, he has regrets. What is the catalyst to the thought process to why he did what he did? We understand his action. Why did he do it? It was the regret. Like Ant said, he never got to use his pistol. He did all that training, and he was one of them dudes that never got to see action. So now that action comes to see him, and he's 84, and he's just doing this to make some bread, he wants to try and pull the old 38 out while these cats is with AR-15s. What the catalyst to that thought process is regret. So what caused her to turn around was that regret. Even though the Lord still gave her a chance, she could have just kept continued moving strong. But that spirit that's in you, it's always going to show forth that you're against the Father. What the Lord is showing you is the littlest things, man. That disobedience is a killer.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, it also shows you another side of God that we are reluctant to speak about, and that's his wrathful side. You know, we talk about, oh, he's loving, he's merciful, he's graceful, but see, there's a wrath also that comes along with this one true God. And believe me, brother and sister, he will scorch the earth when he gets done. He speaks and men die. You see what I'm saying? That's the power. He speaks and men live again.
Here's the difference, Vaughn, though, in this scripture, which is what you're saying is true. Sodom and Gomorrah got his vengeance, but this woman made a choice.
Oh, yeah. I understand about her.
So absolutely what Vaughn is saying is truthful, right? A lot of the times we shy away from, you know, the vengeful side of the Father when you outside of his obedience. But this woman had a choice. She was already out. She was already safe. You're out. By all terms and conditions, you're safe. You're under the covering. The reason why you were saved is because of the covering your husband had. Everyone that was under a lot is gone. You chose to step outside of his covering. You chose to step outside. And this is the point that we have to say, when you're under the covering of Christ, you're covered. You're covered. When you step outside of that, when you step outside of it, you're on your own.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with all that. The only thing I'm saying is that, I was trying to say was that I think whether she displayed the fact that she had that love or not, he didn't know. Can we agree to that? He didn't know. Like, she never explained to him, I really love Sodom. I really love Sodom. But she never broke that down to him. Like, I don't care that these angels are here to tear it down. I wish they wouldn't. Right? And so what I'm saying is she was in his camp thinking like that. Now, maybe she didn't move on it. It would have probably been better if she would have brought that to his attention. But she didn't bring it to his attention. Why? Because she didn't want to be found out at that point, right?
But whose fault is that?
That she didn't bring it to his attention.
Whose fault is it that she didn't bring out? Whose fault is that? I mean, if we're gonna look at it from the perspective that you're looking at it from, so let's go deep diving. Okay. She knew what type of man Lot was, correct?
Correct.
So she had to fake the funk. If we're looking at it from the perspective you're looking at it from, she had to fake the funk to get married to Lot because she knew what type of dude what type of life Lot was living, right?
Agreed.
So at the end of the day, the only person you can fool is who? Yourself. You can't fool God. So at the end of the day, although the destruction fell on, you know, what Von Bryant said, the destruction fell upon Sodom and Gomorrah because they were doing what they were doing. She was a little bit more, she was a lot more. She was better at hiding it. The same way when those dudes brought the whore to Christ, right? She was deserving of death. Christ didn't say she wasn't deserving of death. What did Christ say? He who has no sin cast the first stone. Cool. She's deserving of it. But the difference between you and her is she got caught and you dudes didn't. You guys got the same heart, bro. But y'all wicked as hell. Because you're bringing her here because she got caught. So that's the difference. The difference is those people in Lot would be the whore. Those people in Lot. The wife would be the wife. Those Sadducees and Pharisees would be the wife.
Okay.
So she got the same destruction that they got because her heart was there with them. If that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. I agree with you on certain points, and you know, it's just the this is what destroys marriages. This is what destroys relationships. This is what destroys friendships. This is what destroys business relationships. Is the fact that the person that has entered into it, usually one person, is less has less to lose than another person.
How about that guy?
Right?
What do you mean? What do
Usually
you
in
mean by
most
that?
marriages,
What do you mean
most marriages, the man has considerably more to lose upon the breaking up of the relationship.
Right.
In a business situation, there's typically one person that has a little more to lose than the other person, and so on and so forth, right? And I get that she was like, yeah, man, if I marry him, I'm gonna have status. I'm never gonna have an empty plate. We're always gonna have something in the pot. I get that. But what I'm saying is, I don't see how, and you guys educate me on this, and then we're gonna move on. How would he be responsible for her hiding that love for that city? How would he be responsible for that?
He wasn't responsible for her hiding the love for the city.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Who's responsible? She's responsible. That's why she died.
Okay, good.
So he wasn't responsible for it. She's everyone in that house that was under what Ant was saying is that goes to show when the whole home is in sync and under the man's covering was under Christ's covering. The reason why she got out was because of who she was married to. Right? So, take anybody, get out. But then again, looking at it from your perspective, let's look at it from the way you're looking at it. She felt a whole way while she was there. She didn't let Lot know that.
Right.
Lot is figuring that out after his wife turns to a pillar of salt.
Right.
Then her heart was always back there.
Right.
So the woman that I married wasn't the woman that I married.
Right.
Right. So he's probably just as surprised as the children would be.
Agreed. So that's why I say, people like that, they bring harm to other people because they could have nipped that in the bud if she would have told the truth up front.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like,
okay.
Well, I don't want to marry somebody like that because this you're gonna afflict us at some point.
Gotcha. So you're speaking from the perspective that Lot still loved her.
Yeah, Lot still loved her.
At the end of the day, that's
everybody loved it because we love these hypocrites.
Absolutely.
Jesus loved Peter.
I see your point.
Jesus loved him. Jesus loved Judas. Right? That's where the faultiness comes in because we love these people, man. We love the ex-girlfriend and the ex-boyfriend and whatever, and our children that go left. We love these people. But it's too late. We already engulfed with them. If they could have told us as a little baby, right? My son could have told me as a little baby, I'm going to put you through the ringer, Pop.
You got that right, brother.
Yeah, man, you got those adoption forms over here. Can you have some of those adoption forms? Right? Well, my point is, man, we love these people. And so so we got to get a discerning spirit because it comes back to what I was talking about with the discerning spirit. At least that's my perspective, gentlemen. That's where I'm looking at it. If we're better discerners, then we can weed these kind of people out of our lives, right? And then we can have better lives.
But you're not going to catch everything.
Your ability, because
some things are going to slip through. You're not going to catch everything.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Two of y'all talking at the same time, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying what Vaughn was saying. Just because of discern doesn't mean that you're going to catch everything.
No, I'm not saying that.
Right. But discernment is good. It's good. It's very good. Discernment in your life will help you to catch most balls, but there will be a few that you miss.
Okay, I will agree to that. We meet in the middle right there. Okay, guys, we got to finish it. You know what? No, I can't finish it. I'm gonna have to finish it another day because I'm getting told that we're over the time. We're way over the time, actually, about an hour over. Okay,
Man,
this is what we're gonna do, gentlemen.
Night you having on a Sunday, man. Come on, man.
All right, man. All right, man. What we gonna do, man? We gonna go around. We get some last comments, man. I thank you all, brothers, man, because I love it when we get a challenge, but everybody's in a good place when we challenge each other, right? We all in a good place, so it's not no. Hey, man, Anthony said something about what I said. We saw that earlier this week, right? You didn't call me back, right? Whatever. So now we gotta, at least we're all in a good place, and I respect you, brothers. So when you talk to me, I'm not just like whatever. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That part I agree with. This part I might not agree with. This part, So trust me, brother. I love it when we can have a robust talk about things, right? All right, but we got to end the show, y'all, because did y'all know Sister Annie is a Taurus? Know that?
She's a tourist.
She's a Taurus, not a tourist.
Oh, I thought you were saying she was a tourist. I'm like, wait a minute, what's she visiting from? I thought she's been here forever.
She's a Taurus. Like
I don't keep up with the astrology stuff, so I wouldn't
like
know.
in astrology.
Me either.
And since
we're all individuals.
Since I know Taurus as well, because I'm a Taurus myself, you can't talk, man. Once they get on your head, they're on your head, right? They're gonna be the nicest people, but once they're on your head, they're on your head. So Sister Annie's on my head, she's saying, and she's just looking out for me. I'm teasing her about being on my head, but she's just looking out for me, y'all. So she's saying, Clarence, you got to wrap this thing up. All right, so let's get some closing remarks, gentlemen, and then let's get up out of here. I think we had a great show, man. You guys coming up, man, made it so much better, man, than I could have ever done by myself. Okay, let's go Anthony Vaughn, and then the one that talks the longest, and then I'll close the show out.
That hurts, man. That hurts.
No, brother Clarence is not talking about anybody being long-winded.
I said it. It's a good long-winded.
I can't even believe it myself.
Everybody on this stage is long.
The pot calling the kettle black. Come on.
Chuck got winged again on that shot.
Hey, Brian, I think about Anthony too.
Wow. It's too early, Ant. It's too early.
It's too early. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Too early, brother. Tomorrow you can do it. Tomorrow you can make jokes. It's too early.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get what we doing.
Well, hey, all I was trying to do was work, and y'all brought me into a conversation that I had to jump in on because it's fun stuff. But I appreciate you letting me on, man. It was great. I enjoyed the conversation and everything else. I'm anytime we start talking about scripture, man, I'm all in because for me, I just love to have people understand just the context and how things are going, not from our point of view of what we would see and do today, but mainly the stuff that was happening at that time. Because when you can read the scripture in the context of what is written, it opens up a whole new avenue on how those things and it changes your view of those things. And just understanding what's a prescriptive text versus a descriptive text is just it's wonderful. And so, those guys will tell you, man, I that's one of the, if you want to keep me awake, that's one of the ways to keep me awake right there. My eye will be twitching, but hey, it'll all be real. But man, it was good seeing y'all tonight, man. Y'all have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, rest of your evening, great week. And man, I'll see you guys on the flip side.
Hey, Ant, you always welcome, brother. Anytime we talking about whatever. But scriptures, I'm gonna expect you to come up. I'm gonna expect you if you come to chat to come up. Bolo, it's a good talk and we get to see everybody's perspective of it and how it all ties in, right? So thank you, brother, for coming up. We appreciate you, brother. And like I said, this is your home. You're welcome here anytime, man. Just click that button.
All right, we'll do, man. I'll keep that. I'll keep that open invitation.
Okay, yes, sir, brother. All right, that's brother Anthony. You can catch him on Bolo TV, The Village. He's over there as well. But we're gonna get the times and everything straight when we talk to Bolo. But thank you, brother Ant. I'm gonna put you down, man. All right, who else is up here? Oh, Von Bryant. Von Bryant.
Yes, sir.
What do you say, Vaughn? What do you think about the show, man?
I mean, excellent. Anytime that we could get together and discuss the word, man, I'm all for that.
Me too, man.
Because I love the wisdom and learning, and to be around scholars, that's such a blessing to me. I know I got my wires crossed a little bit earlier, but thank God for the open mind, because the way that they opened up that 8th verse really helped me a little bit better understand what was going on. And like I said earlier, the Bible is just really not just one read where you just read it once. No. You know what I'm saying? We have to constantly go over this word so that we can rightfully divide the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really appreciative tonight for Brother Bolo, Brother Ant, 84, even you, Brother Clarence.
Even me? What does that mean?
Even you, brother. Let some drops now fall. Yeah, man. Listen, it's such an honor to be a part of
Same here.
These type of forums and being on this type of panel, because it's very enlightening, and so I'm grateful to God for that. And I would be remiss to thank God for the way that he preserves life. You see what I'm saying? How blessed we are. We didn't get hit by the car.
Oh man.
You see what I'm saying? The bullet just scratched us in the ear. It could have been centimeters over, and there it would have went right into our head. You see how good God is. You see? And so with that, I would be remiss if I wouldn't say, pray for our nation, pray for these gentlemen who are in government. You see what I'm saying? Because there is a plot afoot. And I'm telling you, man, that the devil is trying to be as busy as he can.
Sir.
And so pray for those who are in leadership. Whether you agree with them or not, they're there for a purpose and a reason. And that would be it, man. Thanks again, and God bless everybody. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Brother Vaughn. Thank you, man.
I wasn't too long-winded, was I, Brother Clay?
No, man, you did good, man. We gotta wait till that's when I gotta go ahead and check my casserole, man. Shout out to Von Bryant, man. Peace. Good brother, man. Same thing with Auntie. Good brothers. And we just have fun, man. We may agree, we may disagree, whatever, but it's all in love, man. It's all in trying to find the truth and trying to find the angle. And I'm listening, man, because I'm trying to listen to everybody's perspective and see how that measures up to and if you got something better, if I can digest it and I could change my perspective on something, man. So I don't never mind being challenged about nothing, dude. So but shout out to Von Bryant, man. He's one of those brothers, and once again, it makes these kind of conversations good, man, because he has the commitment and and at the same time the humbleness to listen to other people, man. So shout out to Von Bryant, man. Now I gotta kick you off the stage, Von. All right, kick Von off the stage. All right, okay, brother. So what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna go prepare this chicken and I'm gonna put it in the oven. I'm giving you the whole rest of this time. I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. I mean good. You and Vaughn and Anthony, you guys are long-winded in a good way. Maybe I'm not, but you guys are. That's for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, beloved. What do you think about today's show?
I thought today's show was awesome, and
Yes,
I am humbled to be around people that I respect, people that I love, and people that I can learn from. You know, I'm humbled, man. I come here with an open mind, open spirit to learn and to man, you know, when you meet people, certain people in your life that are genuine, it's hard to find them, man. It's hard to find them because they're so far and in between. And you're gonna have bumps in the roads with them, you know, but the genuineness of the spirit is special. And when you find those people, you hold on to them. You hold on tight. Sometimes they may think you're choking them a little bit. That's okay. It's okay to choke somebody just a tiny bit. The legal choke someone for 7 seconds legally.
yeah.
So
Come on, brother. We love you too. Come on.
I appreciate it, man. So yeah, I appreciate the space. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Same here, brother.
Thank you for allowing us here. Thank you for the open, invite. The only beef that I have with you, and we continue to have this back and forth, is that you don't clean the belt.
What?
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Something's going on, man. It's either my headphones
It's mine.
It's my mic. Or your computer equipment, man. That's what's going on, man. The connection ain't connected, man. That's
my bad. My bad.
Yeah, man. It's okay, man.
All right.
I'm gonna let it ride, just like I let this other decision ride. I'm gonna let it ride, man.
I appreciate it.
But like I said,
it's coming.
It's coming.
All right.
It's coming.
So I'm not gonna take too long because I see that Anae I can see her. The cartoons in the bubble. And you have a picture, I can just see her tapping her watch. Wrap it up. Buddy. So
Well,
yeah,
you're gonna just see a hand come out of here, out of nowhere. Bang, bang, bang.
Not always chasing violence, Risa. No, I'm not. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing to come into an environment such as this, and be able to take your head down. Yeah, and to be able to take your head down and just converse and have conversation and be open to it and really build with everybody and walk away thinking like, damn, okay, that's a good perspective. I never thought of it from that perspective, and grow, because that's what this is about. It's about growth and the pushing forth of our Lord and Savior. So thank you, brother, for allowing me on your stage.
Thank you for coming.
We will be on at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern Standard Time.
All right.
So that's where you'll find me. Thank you so much, brother Clan. Love you and everyone else in the village. In the chat. Thank you so much, man. I love you guys so much, man. Thank you,
man. Love you, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right. That's between him, Vaughn, Anthony. We just got so many good people, and not to mention the sisters, Annie, Reese, Patrice. I mean, all these sisters, Enya, all these sisters, man. It's an environment where it's as close as we can get to the village. It's as close as we can get, man. But I mean, just all the love, man. All excuse me, all the love. And he says, I was just about to say tighten up, buddy. All right, I'm gonna tighten up before I get told to tighten up. I'm gonna tighten up. Great Pill said, what is that stuff about a Taurus? I'm a Taurus too. What does that mean? Great Pill. I know I'm a Taurus. I know Sister Annie is a Taurus. I know. Don't mess with Tauruses. I already know. Don't mess with them. They're gonna be as nice as possible to you. Do everything for you. But the minute you cross them, man, you don't think hell done opened up and everybody is running out of hell, running that straight at you, man. I mean, the Tauruses, man, woo, woo. So Sister Annie giving me the high sign. Remember y'all used to watch the Little Rascals, right? I'm talking about the original Little Rascals, right? They say they started their little club, and they say, hey, give me the high sign. So Sister Annie giving me the high sign. I gotta go, right? All right. Risa said, blessed. I hope you will all be until we meet again. Thank you, Risa. Appreciate you. Oh, that's another beautiful sister right there. Ann said, appreciate you guys. You guys have a great, you too, Ann, man. You too, guys. May God bless all of you guys in the chat 1,000 times, and help you with whatever twist that may come into your life. God is right there to help you. God is not there to, make things. We just, not going to have no problems, right? That's the misconception that a lot of people have. Well, why you have a problem? You got God. God don't mean that. I got God to lean on. That don't mean I ain't gonna have no problems. I got God. I just got God to lean on, right? Vaughn said Taurus need to represent like everybody else. Nah, man, Taurus is a special breed, Vaughn. You gotta be one or know one to see how I go, man. Because man, I'm telling you, man, Taurus can erupt on you in like 0 seconds flat, man. Vaughn says, great panel tonight. He was, man. It was, man. I appreciate all of you guys, even Mr. Best, man. Even Mr. Best. Because what I like about Mr. Best, man, he'll say his piece, and then he's humble enough to back up and say, let me listen to these guys. I may not agree with everything they say, but I might pick up a nugget here or there, right? And when you got heavy hitters like Ant and Bolo and Vaughn and stuff, like, man, he's some heavy hitters, man. He's some heavy hitters. Bolo said, shine the belt. I don't know what he's talking about, this belt they talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. I got, what I'm saying? That, you know how old Bolo is. Bolo's like 135 years old. Maybe he's going to see now. Maybe that's what he's doing. But we'll see, man. Me and him, we got to get back in the ring because the people want to know who's the most talented, who got the most talent. They know we both love God. They know we both will get with you with these scriptures. We know that. They know, the people know all that already. They know I love him. They know he loved me. They know that. They want to get down to the brass tacks. Who got the most talent? Who got the most talent? So they can always put their finger up in the air and say, bro, Clarence, yeah, but Bolo gave it a good try, right? We shall see, y'all. We got some stuff that we have to do this year, right? We're doing some stuff, trying to work out some stuff so that we can work with children in Los Angeles, right? We're putting together this program to work with children in Los Angeles, and we're going to, our first stop is where I work at the Department of Water and Power. That's our first stop. So this is what's holding us back. So if you're saying, Clarence, you've been saying this, yeah, I've been saying it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, see, y'all don't know about city bureaucracy. It's a lot of layers you got to go to get to the person you need to talk to so that you can find out what you need to do and then get back to the person you need to talk to. It's a lot of layers. So it takes a lot of time, right? So they just told me last week I got to make a recommendation, right? I got to make this recommendation. So we're going to do the recommendation, see where that takes us. And then we're gonna get moving, y'all. We're going to get moving. We're going to do what the goal was, which is to help these young men in particular. I mean, young women too, if they need it. But in particular, we want to help them. Because I think if we fix the young men, I think the young women will have to change, by default, because they're not going to get the guys, that they want. They're not going to get those type of guys. They're not going to be interested in them once they get educated on how the world really works. It doesn't work off of just beauty and sex and sports. It works off of a lot of other things if you really want to be happy. Vaughn said, you misread my comment. I said tourists need to repent just like everybody. I know. I'm sorry, Ron. Yeah, I know we need to repent. We need to repent the most out of everybody, man. A tourist will flip on you, man, like one of them old phones, man. So I know we need to repent. Shout out to you, Vaughn. Maybe that dude look back and turned into salt in 4K. You know what, man? Let me tell you, man. Our people are getting turned into pillars of salt. What is pillar of salt? It's unusable. It's, if it's not really for a specific task, it's unusable. What can you do with it? Right? That's our people, man. Our people are pillars of salt, but they walking around, right? They zombies. They sleepwalking. And they walking themselves into all kind of ditches and all kind of bad problems because they don't use the discernment that God, and they don't exercise it. That discernment is like a muscle. You have to exercise it and use it, and then you will get it. You can build it stronger. But a lot of our people just don't want to do that, right? They just don't want to do it. So, and then a lot of our people just are unaware. They're clueless that God has a program for them. They can actually access God's wisdom and love and mercy, right? Right? They're not entitled to it, but they can access it if they learn, humble themselves and stop their wicked ways. So that's our job, y'all. That's what we got to do, man. We got to be the example of what we trying to bring to them of peace and God's mercy on earth. We gotta be that. We have to be that example, right? Also, we got to be able to point our people in the right direction. So many people have pointed them in the wrong direction. We got to point them in the right direction. That's our goal, y'all. Just to point the people. Can we make them walk? No, you can't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them walk. Can't make them drink. But at least they around the water. If they around the water and they see enough other people drinking, maybe they say, you know what? If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Anyway, beloved family, we had a great time today, didn't we? By the way, shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. If you haven't already subscribed to Great Pill, get your butt on over there and subscribe to the Great Pill Podcast. But we had a great time today, man. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be me and Rico. But hey, it turned out even better. Rico came up. Now, don't get me wrong. Rico came up. But, as soon as I saw them grandkids, I'm a granddad. There's no kind of way your grandkids are there and you're going to have time to be talking. That's why I told Rico twice. Just go be with your kid. Go be with the grandkids, man. We'll catch you. We ain't going nowhere. No, I'm going to stay. Them grandkids put it right on down, right? No one can defeat grandchildren, man. You just cannot defeat grandchildren. Grandchildren will pull you down every time. They'll pull you off your programming. I'll be watching something on TV lately. I've been watching this Ocean Gate situation, right? Remember when them dudes went down and they went in that submarine type thing and it just imploded on them? I've been watching different people's perspective on why that thing imploded, right? They all pretty much had the same, but they approach it a different way, right? I've been on that, and then I've been on this dude that, he used to be a Air Force pilot. He talks about these plane crashes and why they crashed. Because I like the why. Why? What happened? What could have happened to prevent it, right? So this dude, I'm watching this stuff, right? Pretty gory, a lot of it, right? As soon as I get into it good, man, it get good. Here come my granddaughter come in the room, right? I got to turn all that off, put on something like Tennessee Tuxedo or Chuck Chicken or something like that, right? Because the grandkids, man, you're not going to win. Man, you're not going to win against some grandkids, man. Shout out to Rico Young, man. Shout out to Rico Young. He did the right thing, though. All right, we're going to get out of here, y'all. Let me just do a real quick rundown, man. Shout out to the chat. The chat is where it's at, man. Chat, great job in the chat. Shout out to Risa Neal, man. Hopefully, I didn't see that she had to take anybody down, but Risa's always at the ready, man. Shout out to Risa for that. Shout out to everybody in the chat, all you guys that's in the chat for doing what you do, and we appreciate all of you guys, man. It's a strong performance for the chat. Very solid, very, very solid. And let's chat. What about everybody that came on the channel? What about Rico Young? Very solid, very strong. What about the Intellectual Soapbox? If you haven't already subscribed to the Intellectual Soapbox, get on over there to Intellectual Soapbox, man. Young brother's trying, man. He's trying. He's trying to put out a good product, man. So let's give him a chance. Let's help him out if we can. But shout out to Intellectual Soapbox. Very solid performance, very strong. What about Ant T-Biz? Very solid, very solid, very solid. And I like Ant because, Ant just tells his perspective, right? But at the same time, he got the respect for everybody to hear their perspective. He ain't just out there cutting them off, but he definitely will say his perspective. And I like a cat that's solid in what he believes and what he wants to have happen. So shout out to Ant T-Biz. Very solid performance for Ant. Very, very strong. Plus, he dropped a lot of jewels, right? He dropped a lot of jewels, even though he didn't agree with me, right? But he dropped a lot of jewels, right? Shout out to Ant. Who else was up here? Von Bryant. Von Bryant was up here. What about Von? Right? Von dropped a bunch of jewels too, right? But like I said, one thing I like about Von, same thing. He's so passionate, but at the same time, humble enough to say, okay, I needed to, I'll think about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll take that back to the lab and run it through some tests, right? He ain't just like, no. Yeah, none of us are like that, right? We can listen to everybody's perspective, right? Even though we all probably think, I'm right? But I always think maybe the other person's right. Maybe that person's right. So I will give you an opportunity to just, prove me or, bring me some other alternative information, because I don't never think I'm right. I'm exclusively 100% right. I never think that way. And I don't think the other guys think that way too. I just think they're just passionate about what they talking about. But shout out to Von Bryant. Very solid performance. Very strong as always, right? Everybody was strong as always, right? And then, of course, we had Rico Young, and then he had a solid performance. And then who else? We had Bolo TV, man. Very solid. Man, if I tell you all the things that Bolo TV has done for me behind the scenes, this dude is solid, dude. This dude is solid. Man, me and Bolo, man, we have talked, and man, this dude is solid. I feel like I know him in real life. I feel like I never met him. I never physically laid my eyes on him, but I don't care. That's my brother. I love him, right? As long as he don't have a mask with my face on it, I'll be good. But you talk about a solid brother, man. A solid brother. And listen, the brother always has a good spirit, even though talk about trials. Brother's been through some trials. And he's got the heart like Jesus, where he tries to ride other people's trials, help them through their trials. Shout out to the brother, man. Shout out to the brother. Good dude. But man, that's the stuff y'all see. This dude does so many things behind the scenes, man. He's just one of them kind of friends, man. Like he described, he is that person where he's a once in a lifetime person. This dude is a once in a lifetime person, man. So, I love the brother, but I'm not gonna let just that I love him. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Ant. I'm a fan of Vaughn. I'm a fan of these guys, right? I'm a fan of theirs. So I listen like to them, even when I may not be able to be on the panel or on the show. I listen to them just to see where they're coming from and stuff like that, and see if it's a better place than where I'm at. So But shout out to them, man. Shout out to Bolo TV, man. Very solid performance. Very strong performance. Okay, gang, that's it. That's everybody. Look here. We're going to be back next week. We might do the City of Dalton thing because that thing is look like it's getting dragged out, or we might find something else. But thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you on the next stream. Peace.